Who's rapping? Over keen. Dragons? I'm not over keen. I'll dice them like a knife, slicing right through an aubergine. My dragon shout flow is sweeter than a soda stream. You won't believe your eyes. I'm like an overload of dopamine. A broadsword in one hand and a magic spell in the other. I'm the last of the dragon.
Welcome to the third episode of a Skyrim Addict podcast Roundtable.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, everyone. Before we get started with the roundtable this week, Victor had a quick correction that he would like to go over. It's something he had in the last episode. Victor, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just mentioned last time about the smithing skill tree in Skyrim, and I think I said something about it being brought together in Skyrim. Well, I was completely wrong. I meant to say it was split apart in Skyrim so that it ends on the left side and Dragonbone on the right side and Daedric. But anyway, I just wanted to make that correction in case anybody was listening and noticed my error. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Okay. That's cool. So we will just do a brief reintroduction just so that everyone knows who we are, where we come from. Colin, if you'd just like to tell us your name, maybe where you're calling in from, and our category this week is tell us a couple of your favorite movies, if you would, please.
My name's Colin. I'm calling in from London, England. My character's name is Gunvar Oakenmaster, and I think some of my favourite movies, one that I don't own it on DVD, but I have to watch it every time it comes on the television, is The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, and I don't know why.
I've never actually seen that, but I have heard it's good.
And let's see, that's about it. I don't think there's many other films that I have to watch if they come on. That's about it.
Okay.
That's me.
What do you say, Victor?
Victor here from the state of Massachusetts, U.S., and my character's name is Slythe Aaron. I guess I'd have to say, if for movies, one of my favorites of all time is The Princess Bride.
Oh, very nice.
And I'm also really fond of Last of the Mohicans. But The Princess Bride is probably my desert island movie.
Great, yeah. So. And I am Andrew, and we are calling in from Indiana, near Indianapolis. And my character's name is Mania Ababna. And it's a hard question to answer, but whenever anyone asks me what my favorite movie is, I usually default to the movie Jaws. I'm a big fan of Big Fish.
Yeah.
Seafood special.
Yes. And we are the show who compares and contrasts Skyrim experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
And so am I.
Colin, can you just quickly go over your 3 assigned attributes for Gunvar?
My 3 assigned attributes is magic, it's illusion. My warrior skill was one-handed, and my sneak or sort of thief skill was speech.
Speech. Okay.
Or did you mean my
No, that's exactly, yeah.
Oh.
You did it correctly. And Victor, what do you have?
I have two-handed as the warrior skill. I'm always confused about which is thief and whatever. But anyway, the other 2 are enchanting and alchemy.
Yeah, those get confusing. I would think that alchemy might be in the magic realm, but that's evidently categorized over in the thief.
Yeah.
For some reason. And my 3 were two-handed and speech and restoration. So those are the categories that I have been assigned. Colin, what sort of adventuring have you been doing over the last few weeks?
I've basically been going to town on Gunvar. I started taking notes, but what I had to do is, because I was enjoying it so much, because I was playing so much, I had to just keep on saving and save the saves instead of deleting them. And then when I got a chance, I'd spend a day going through all the saves and then making notes. So they kind of they change in the way they're put together through, but it's like goes on for like 20 odd minutes just reading it. So I think I'm going to have to break it up a bit. So if you want to move on a little bit to what you guys have been doing, and I'll see where I can start.
Okay, Victor, what have you done? Have you gotten yourself a house and a spouse and your followers, and have you joined a faction or anything yet?
Yeah, well, I've been working pretty hard at it too, but mostly just meandering around a lot. I think last time I was up to like level 25. I haven't really moved that far. I'm level 30 now, and of course I did the 3 assigned sections of the main quest, but. So I took a few scribbled notes, nothing quite so complete as Colin, but we can go through this a step at a time too. But I have definitely built my house, which is Heliarchan Hall, and I've been working on that. I got lazy and just spent the money to have my house Carl furnish it for me. I didn't feel like making all that furniture. But I did decide that I wanted to add some lights, so I've been hunting lots of goats and for the goat horns. And Slythe has developed a distinct taste for goat meat, which I must say I share with him. And so we've been roasting lots of leg of goat and making all kinds of other wonderful goat recipes.
Are you a fan of Indian food, Victor?
I love curried goat.
Yes, me too. I'm a big fan.
And so that's been the goat thing. And also I decided it was about time. So when I hit level 30, I guess that's the trigger for the Boethius Calling quest. So I thought, well, now it's time to go find Koznak. And so I did, and I went to Markarth. I ditched all my other followers. We can talk about other followers later, but and went and picked up Koznak at the was it Candlehearth Hall in Markarth. And I decided that we were going to take a grand tour of the north side of Skyrim, doing several little fetch and kill quests along the way. And I have to say, I have developed a great fondness for Koznak. He's a very, very funny character. He's got some great lines. I don't know if some of them are may have been added by one of the mods I use called Follower Commentary Overhaul, which unlocks some of the unused commentary and gives some of the I guess it shares out some of the commentary from other NPCs. So, he's got some very funny lines, and he's pretty good at several things. He's pretty good at one-handed. He's got a pretty high level of that, and he's good block, and he's got some good archery. I also use a mod called Amazing Follower Tweaks, and that allows you to view the stats of all your NPCs followers, so I can tell what they're good at and what they're not good at. And he's got some mad skills in a few places. So anyway, that's where I'm at for now.
Do you have any of his most famous or some of your favorite lines that he?
Oh, I thought about. I thought somebody was going to ask me that, and no, I don't.
Okay.
Maybe next time I'll remember to write something down.
Yeah, jot something down if it strikes you as funny.
He's sort of a, he's kind of plays the goofy drunkard kind of character, so he's got some good inebriated lines.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Koznak that I know of. You said he comes from Markarth, but not the Silverblood Inn from...
Silverblood, sorry, that's the one. That's the bar in the center of Markarth. Yeah, he's a barfly, and I, the first few times, and you have, in order to get him as a follower, you have to, fight him just like you do with Oathgird. And he just acts drunk and clumsy and stupid. But once you get him out and start, going on some quests with him, he's pretty good. He's a funny guy, so I'm enjoying his company.
So you have to pick is it one of those ones where you have to pick a fist fight with him, you brawl
Yeah.
or whatever in the bar, and then,
Exactly.
I did that with Uthgard.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have her on a different character. She's one of my followers.
Yeah, no, I like Uthgard very much. So, but I have also picked up along the way with Koznak. I picked up an orc. I forget her name. I did write it down somewhere. She's actually somebody else's follower in this in the Roundtable. Starts with a B. I can't remember her name exactly, but
Is she the blacksmith or the blacksmith assistant in Markarth? Is it that lady?
No. She was at the Mor Khazgor or whatever orc stronghold that's along the northern tier there between Markarth and Solitude. And you go in there and you end up paying her dowry to get her as a follower.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I picked her up. I've also got Mjol as a follower, but she's waiting somewhere right now. And she's waiting at Heliarch and of course the Housecarl, Gregor. So I have my choice of several followers.
Yeah, I like hauling Gregor around with my other character too sometimes.
Yeah, he's great. He's a pretty powerful soldier, as it were.
Yeah, is he the one that's two-handed or the one who's spell and sword?
No, he's two-handed.
Yeah.
Two-handed. Yeah.
How about you, Colin? Do you have any good stories with your followers?
Yeah. So, you see, when I had to find my follower, remember when we ended the last thing, I was saying that I was just outside Whiterun because I didn't see the point in going in because everything for me was inside Whiterun apart from maybe my follower because I didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So I went inside, and then it turned out that my follower was inside Whiterun as well. So the quest that I needed to do, or the faction I needed to join, was the Companions. So I joined the Companions, and I find him really quickly because he's the dark elf that's fighting the woman when you first walk into Jorvaska.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, where is it? I got my notes. Found my follower, Aethys, the dark elf having a fist fight when you first enter Jorvaska. He loses. Good start.
Who does he lose to?
That's her name is Ninjuna Stonearm, so I'm not surprised he lost.
Some stone arms. Yeah.
And then I got the hired muscle quest. You know that one where you have to go punch somebody in the face? The very start of was it the Companions quest?
Mm-hmm.
I think it. And you have to go around, and usually you get someone like one of the women outside on the farm or something. I got Uthgard.
Oh no!
Uthgard had to go. I was in light armor on legendary and had to go in and punch Uthgard in the face and try and continue the Companions quest. I was running all over the bannered mare, trying to run away from her because she just crushed me with each punch.
Surprised it didn't kill you with a single blow.
That was the worst part. You know when you go out and you have to fight Farkas to show how strong you are?
Yeah.
He killed me.
Killed you.
Oh no!
Punched your nose straight into your brain.
Yeah, no, he one-shotted me. He got an actual kill cam because he was so much more powerful than I was. He got a kill cam and killed me instantly.
That's funny.
I had to reload and do it again. And
So you're playing on legendary?
I was to get all my skills up. So now I've gone down to master. So we can just play on that and have a little bit more fun.
Man, I was not aware. So you switch the difficulty higher, and that will actually make your skills level up faster, huh?
Yeah, because you've got to hit the enemies much more. So that increases. So instead of hitting them 3 times, you've hit them 6 times to kill them. So that increases your one-handed more times.
So what if I turn it on legendary right before I go through an enchanting spree? Will that make my enchanting increase that much more faster?
I don't think so because I've still got to get my speech to 100, and I haven't anywhere close to that. So I'm only like 45 on speech.
Well, you're faster. You're further along than I am. I was interested to hear your strategy. What are you doing to get your speech, to level up your speech?
Oh, I've just been selling stuff.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been collecting as much jewelry as I can, then enchanting it, and then trying to sell it and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because I haven't been selling. I haven't talked to that much. I keep on trying to intimidate the thieves, but it never works. I don't know why. I've even tried to intimidate, the thieves that you meet on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And you try it. It never works. Even when I'm like level 85, it never works. They're never afraid of you.
They tend to persuade easier than they intimidate. I persuade a lot of them. Do I look like I have any money?
Yeah, you're standing there in full ebony armor.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, after I joined the companions. I just wanted to say that I went to Gallows Rock, and I just made a very tiny note here that says, "We'll kill Ayla for being a useless idiot."
What did Ayla do to piss you off?
Entire way through the fight, obviously she's favors the bow, but if they do get close to her, that they have to get into melee, she pulls out that shield and a knife or something like that. She just constantly blocks the entire time. She never ever hits them. For the whole fight, she just stands there waiting. I got killed 2 or 3 times, and then by the third time, I just stopped and let this the Skinner keep on pounding with a giant 2-handed weapon because she just annoyed me so much. And I sort of snuck off and hid in the other part of the room and let her got beat up. Then reloaded again because she annoyed me that much.
That's weird. That's a strange AI glitch or something, I guess.
I just couldn't understand it. So
yeah.
Did she literally never attack, or was that?
Yeah, she only attacked when she had the bow. Maybe he was just overpowering her because she was getting staggered a lot because he was hitting her so hard. Maybe that was it, but it just she was no help whatsoever, and she wouldn't shut up either.
She's a loud one. So what else have you gotten into on your Whiterun adventure?
Let's see. Okay, I started off here. Whiterun, vampires attack. Everyone survives. Used courage, and didn't hit him once. I pick up some vampire armor of conjuring. Light armor, yuck, but go with it for illusion and sneak's sake. During Dragon Rising, all I use is the courage spell, a bit of bowl, and then I use the dual wield for the finish.
Can you explain the courage spell a little bit?
I keep on hitting Irileth and all the town guards with courage, which gives them means them won't flee for 60 seconds, and gives them a little extra health and stamina.
Otherwise, would Irileth and her little band, would they flee from the dragon? Otherwise,
no. I think in that quest, they won't run away because they're protecting Whiterun on the guards, and Irileth definitely won't run away. But it just helps them out, and it improves your illusion skills. But you do have it.
Really, do you think it really is a worthwhile spell? I mean, I watched a few Let's Plays, and of course, I've watched some of Gopher's and his earlier one, the Steve character. Yeah, he used a lot. He was throwing courage at all his followers constantly. I was just wondering if it really is that worthwhile.
It does work because in his new playthrough he uses Karja.
Yeah. Well, in that one he used Jazargo, and then Karjo in the most recent one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I because Karjo he doesn't use the magic with the new one. But if you play with Karjo, if he's outmatched, he's a coward. He runs. He runs
really?
away. Yeah, but if you hit him with the courage spell, he gets back up and gets back in the fight.
Oh, okay.
So that does work. So, yeah, I went up against a couple of dragons with Karjo, and literally the minute the dragon showed up, he ran and hid behind a wall with his hands over his head.
Really, he did the duck and cover move.
Yes, the one that all the kids do.
Yeah. That's classic. Did you get into Dragon Rising as well, Victor? Do you have any stories from your experience at the Western Watchtower?
Oh gosh, no! I just had that one screenshot I took, but I barely touched the dragon at all in that particular episode. I'd already done a lot of stuff, so I ran over there just to get that started earlier this week, and by the time I got around to, because I've been using a lot of crossbow with this character since he's going to be in Dawnguard anyway, and so I got my crossbow wound up and threw a couple of shots at the dragon, and then the guards killed him. It was all over in seconds. So didn't have a whole lot of no great tales of bravery and dragon killing from that one.
It's impressive. The Whiterun guards are usually pretty useless.
Yeah, they just went right after him, and I was running around trying to get a good vantage point, and I must admit I was also taking screenshots. So ever the photographer, I used to be a professional photographer, so I was just taking too many pictures, and
you're a tourist in your own adventure.
That's right. They killed the dragon. So.
Did you have your whole slew of followers with you?
No, actually, I had at that time my assigned follower is Berlina from the Mages Guild, so I had actually started that quest line as well. But during Dragon Rising, I think I left them all behind. I had already built Heliarchen, and I decided I'd go out and do the main quest. The 3 main quest items that we were assigned this time by myself. So no, I did not have any followers with me.
Nice. So Colin, do you have any else about Dragon Rising? Any interesting events happen in the besides your follower running and tucking tail?
That wasn't. Sorry, no. I was just saying that the current spell does work.
Oh, good.
In another playthrough, not this playthrough, because I don't like doing legendary with a follower because they will get you killed very easily. So no, I was on my own as well. But I did on the dragon. I found an iron helmet of Major Conjuring.
Oh, nice.
And it was the proper Dovahkiin helmet, the one that you got on there on your picture. So it was that one, and I was running around that until like level 20, 25. I was running around in that. Obviously, I'd take it off and put it on again when I got into a combat situation, which is good. And then when I got back to Whiterun from that, I got the Dawnguard quest from York. I got the Nettlebane quest from Danica. Got the Missing in Action quest. The In My Time of Need quest. I got the note from Sid Gear. And then I did a load of bounty quests to get some money. And then went to Halted Stream camp to get the transmute spell.
Oh, I went there too.
Got all the iron ore, and that gave me enough money to buy Breeze Home. And Breeze Home's the house that I was supposed to buy, so it left me with 1,000 gold after that.
Great. Before I got into Dragon Rising, I decided I wanted to go grab my spouse, who is Scouts Many Marshes, an Argonian who works on the dock up in Windhelm. But I went up and got him and did his little quest where you have to convince his employer that I think his name was Torbjorn or something like that. He is underpaying the Argonian dock workers, so if you go and have a kind of a stern word with him, you can convince him to start paying the Argonian dock workers a fair wage. And then that made Scouts Many Marshes available to be married, and I just happened to have my Amulet of Mara with me already. So we headed straight to Riften to talk to the priest of the Temple of Mara, and we got the wedding arranged, and we got married and everything. But when we were deciding where we wanted to live, I was like, well, of course we'll go to Lakeview, because I just spent all the time building this house, and it's very nice, picturesque, right there in the countryside. But it wasn't allowing me to do that, and I was thinking, why the hell can I not move both of us over to Lakeview? you guys know why I couldn't move him to Lakeview with me?
No?
No.
It's because I had not built a double bed yet.
Oh no. Oh, that's right. You said you hadn't built any furniture. Yeah.
Yeah, I only put containers in the place. I had zero furniture. I just had containers to store all my reapings from adventuring. So so I told him to hang tight at the temple. I said, "Don't move." And actually, he said something about I will stay here and wait for you or something. But so I went back and made the double bed, and then rode my horse all the way back to Riften, and he was gone.
Oh no.
And I said, "Oh crap! What do we do now?" So I went back to Windhelm to see if he was at the docks. He was not there. I went into, I forget what's the special little room that all the Argonian dock workers work in or sleep in. I broke into there and looked around, and he wasn't there. So I went back to Riften to look around. He wasn't there. And I went back all the way to Lakeview Manor. He wasn't there. So I was just kind of baffled, and I didn't have any idea. I searched online for an answer, and I didn't really find a good answer to my problem. So I had to reload and do all that crap again. But first things first, I went and made that damn bed.
Yeah.
And then I went and rushed through everything and got it done really quickly.
Whenever something like that happens to me, I just fast travel forward because I don't want to waste time running around all those trips back and forth again.
Yeah, after I reloaded, I was just fast traveling back to Windhelm to pick him up because it would be ridiculous to go from Lakeview to Windhelm to Riften to do all that all over again. That was crazy. So I built the bed, and then we went. Excuse me. And we got married, and I moved him back to Lakeview, and then I decided that I wanted the Lover's Comfort perk that you get for sleeping next to your spouse. And I slept, and I woke up, and I didn't see any perk, and I was like, oh crap, I'm still a werewolf. So I didn't get any perks for sleeping next to my new spouse. So then I left him there, and I went off, and I cured my my werewolf affliction. I took the Witch's Head. Where do you have to go? To East Grimoire's tomb, I believe, right?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
And so I, tossed the Witch's Head in the fire, and then the wolf spirit split off of me. And that wolf I had a lot of trouble with. I was very surprised how tough it was to kill that wolf. I don't know why I had such trouble with it, but it almost killed me a few times. I had to keep using healing potions, and I was doing lots of healing, way more than I thought I would have to.
Wow.
Because when I healed the werewolves of the other people, they seemed like a snap. So I don't know why it was so difficult for my specific werewolf spirit, but I had trouble with him. So yeah, that was my Dragon Rising adventure. I also decided to go off to the Bard's College and get started and all that, and did the Burning of King Olaf festival, which was actually pretty entertaining. I kind of didn't really remember having the Bard's College be very interesting my first playthrough that I did it, but it was actually, you were right, Victor, it is a pretty fun quest.
Yeah, it's a no pressure kind of thing, it's a nice little interlude.
Yeah, and I found out that you can't really become the head of the Bard's College either. You can only just become a member. So I don't know if I have to assign myself a new faction to become the leader of or whatnot, but that I had the Bard's College and I did all that. And actually, Colin, you're doing speech, right?
Yes.
Have you gone to the Bard's College yet?
No, I haven't been to Solitude at all. I haven't been to Markarth. I haven't been to Riften. Haven't been to Windhelm.
Well, I found that they're very. I mean, granted, they're in the school of singing and arts and speech, so I got a good number of perks out of the Bard School that I wasn't really aware that I was going to get.
Oh yeah, when you get the reward, you get loads of skill ups, light armor and things like that from different people.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get the same thing when you bring back have they done all the little side quests, like getting the loot and getting the drum? And,
you have to find Panthea's flute from Hobbs Fall Cave.
Makes dead people dance. Yeah.
Exactly. Then you have to tell Vittoria Vici to drop a tariff on imported spices to release the shipment for Yvette. And then you also have to fetch Riorn's drum from Haldir's cairn. And
That's a fun one.
then once you do all that, you start getting lots of nice little perks and all that. You get the Haldir's staff.
2 of them.
Yep, you get 2 of those.
Yeah, don't get that in Skyrim, do you, Victor?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not. I don't think I'm even any longer aware of what Skyrim has taken away.
Haldir's cairn? The guy who splits himself into 3. The Droger splits himself into 3, and he's got the frost. A frost one of himself, a fire one of himself, and a shock one of himself.
Oh gosh, I totally forgot about that. No.
Yeah, when you're fighting him, if you're on the Xbox or you're on the PS3, once you kill him, a staff drops off him, and it's lying on the floor, and you pick it up. When you search his body, there's another staff on him as well. So you get two of exactly the same staff. I think it's a glitch, but in Skyrim they fixed it, so you only get 1.
Yeah, or that might be the unofficial patches that fix a lot of stuff like that as well. Yeah, the patches fix the restoration loop, the fortify restoration loop. You can't do that once you've applied those patches. A lot of the exploits, the patches kill. So you can't level stuff up fast.
So let's have a look. So where did I go from there? So from Gallows Rock, when I killed what's his name? The Silver Hand. My illusion was at 55, so I was like, what I'll do is I'll run up to Winterhold and get like the next level spells. Which really annoys me, because if you look at all the destruction spells, there's about 50 of them. If you look at the illusion spells, there's 12. And they're all the same. There are there's 16 spells, and they're all exactly the same. There's 4 spells in Apprentice, there's 4 spells in Adept, 4 spells in... And they're all exactly the same spells, they're just stronger as you get up. Whereas Destruction, you get 1,000 bloody spells, and that was annoying me. But I went all the way up to Winterhold to get the next level spells, and then it turns out I couldn't get the next level because I had to be 70 in Illusion to get them. So I had a total wasted time, but I started the Mage's Quest. So
if you could design your own illusion spell, Colin, what would it look like? If you wanted more variance within the school of magic.
I haven't really got a clue myself. There's like in other updates that you can get on the PC or the sort of like mods you can get, they've got actual illusion spells that you can actually hurt people with instead of just control people. Mm-hmm. You can actually cause physical damage with illusion spells and things like that. But it just seemed like very, very tiny. Like if you look at destruction compared to illusion, you don't get enough spells. I don't know what else they could have done, but I just couldn't see. I thought they could have done a bit more.
Yeah, that's what I was interested in. If they have such variance within the destruction school, what do you think they could have done? But yeah, you're right. So they just have 4 different groups of 4 spells each. Well, what are the 4 spells then in the illusion?
You got the Fury, Calm, Fear. You got a few extra ones because you got the ones on their own, like Invisibility and Muffle. Okay,
yeah. I just bought my first Spell Tome of Fury this morning, actually. My Scouts Many Marshes, who is now back at Lakeview with me. I don't know if I couldn't do this with Yosalda before in previous playthroughs, but I found that I just will go and have an enchanting party by myself, and get all my jewelry and all my weapons that I've collected all enchanted up really nicely. But instead of having to go all the way to Falkreath or Whiterun or something to sell, I just go straight to Scouts Many Marshes and I can sell everything right to him. So it's great to not have to take that extra travel step to go off and sell everything.
Yeah.
Can Yosalda do that too? I don't know why I never noticed that before.
Well, all spouses start a little store, right? Don't they? I mean,
They don't necessarily have to be a merchant.
No, because Uthgerd does. As soon as you move into a house, she starts a store. Camilla certainly does. She's already a merchant. But Uthgerd certainly isn't. she's a badass, but she goes ahead and starts a store anyway. So yeah.
And where is this store? I don't see them setting up a little stand out in front of the house. I mean, where are they doing this?
In their heads, I think.
Yeah.
But I haven't married Koznak yet, so I don't know if he starts a store or not.
And are all spouses give you the 100 gold a day for, you say, has the store made any money yet? And then they give you half of the earnings or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't remember Isolde being that much, but I thought that Scouts Many Marshes was earning more money for me on the side somehow. I'm not sure why that would be, but I probably just wasn't paying attention.
It does stack, so if you don't get it every single day when you go back, like 3 days later, you'll get 300 off him.
Yeah, I must have been adventuring for a while. I came home one day and got like 2,000 or something in one go. I was like, sweet! Oh, sorry I was gone so long. Yeah. So, but after I went up to the Bard's College and I got Bjorn's drum from Haldir's Cairn, I also I got Finn's lute from Stony Creek, and that was the loot you were talking about. And each one of those, each time you bring back, let's see, you bring back the flute, you get an increase of all magic categories by 1 level. You bring back Remiel's drum, you get +1 in all warrior skill levels. And you bring back Finn's lute from Stony Creek Cave. You also get a +1 level of all the thief skills. So I like that aspect of the Bard's College. I hadn't noticed that before, but it's a good way to get your just everything leveled up 1. And they also have I feel like there was more speech stuff that I got skills with too there, but I didn't write anything down about that.
When you persuade them, when you're telling them the story from the book.
Mm-hmm.
If you like when you're persuading him to...
Oh yeah, when you're writing the story with the guy, you're right.
They're saying the most outlandish stuff, and you actually persuade them to say that stuff, then I think that increases your speech as well every time you do that.
That was it. That's what I was trying to remember. Thank you, Colin. So yeah, if you persuade him to do the most outlandish things, you will get a +1 in your speech skill each time. It's cool. So anyway, after I did all that, I decided to go ahead and get into our assigned our assigned quests. So we did Dragon Rising, and I ran up to the top of the tower there when the dragon started circling around, and I didn't have any sort of projectile weapons on me at all. I don't carry a bow with me very often, and my follower had a enchanted crossbow with her. So I was just looking for something that I could try to hit him with to knock him out of the sky, so I just busted out my flames and was trying to shoot him in the sky, but that wasn't doing anything. It wasn't hitting. He was too far off, I think. But he eventually landed and started eating the Whiterun guards, and they actually held their own pretty well. I was kind of surprised, because I thought, again, the Whiterun guards are pretty useless. But I guess they at least entertained him for a while. Then it let me sneak up on him, and I pulled out my Wuthrod axe and just whacked him a couple times, and he was dead really quickly. I'd forgotten that dragons... I haven't played... My last playthrough, I have avoided opening the dragons at all. So the previous playthrough before that, I was all just battling legendary dragons and all the really hard ones. So I was really surprised when I just hit this one like twice and he died. I was like, wow, this guy's a real big sissy.
That's one of my favorite tactics. I really prefer to try to strike on dragons right up close. I wait till they land and then dash in and hack away. It's a lot quicker and sometimes more efficient than trying to bring them down with arrows.
Yeah, and especially this early on, if you don't have clear skies or any of the shouts, and I have no projectile weapons, I don't have any means of bringing him out of the sky unless someone else does that for me.
Yep.
I got from the dragon skeleton there. After, of course, you absorb the dragon's soul, and everyone is mesmerized and starts calling you, "Oh, the Dovahkiin is here," and they're like, "Oh, what was that? What just happened?" Like, everyone is very confused and yet mesmerized by your powerfulness all of a sudden. I didn't get anything as good as Colin. What'd you say you got? You got something pretty cool, a helmet of...
Major conjuring, iron helmet.
Major conjuring, not just minor, but major.
Yeah.
What's the difference in major and minor conjuration?
5%, I think. I think it's
okay.
like
I thought it'd be more significant than that, yeah.
It's like 12, and then major is 17, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, evidently the dragon had eaten one of the guards because I found Whiterun guard gear on the dragon. And I found, a shield and a helmet and the armor. And he also had 300 gold and 3 dragon bones and 3 dragon scales. And then we learned force, which is the first word of the unrelenting force shout, other words known as Foos. Foos. And then I just went back to Whiterun to report to the Jarl. Does anyone have anything interesting that happened when they went back to Whiterun?
Yeah, so you get the shout from the Greybeards.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't have any odd adventures when I went back to talk to Balgrove about that. I just pretty much breezed right on through it and headed for Iverstead to climb the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I stepped into the gates, I found 2 of the Alakir guard, and they were looking for a Redguard woman fugitive. And that launched the quest in my time of need. You guys did this quest?
I've only done it once. I usually since then I've been ignoring it. But
well, the Alak, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It's like Alik-R, so Alikir maybe. The guards are looking for a Redguard fugitive woman who came from Hammerfell, and she's fled to Whiterun. And they've tracked her to there, but I myself am a Redguard woman, so I am not inclined to turn over one of my own kind to them to die by their curved sabers. So I'm kind of letting that hang, and even if I do go find her, I will help her escape when I finally get around to doing that. I'm not going to help them bring her down.
I must say I never believe her. I think she's full of it, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I picked up the same question. I ignored it as well.
Yeah, my last playthrough, I went ahead and killed her, and I think I also killed the guards too and took their swords because I thought they looked cool.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a pair of scimitars you get somewhere along the line? It's not from that quest, is it? You can dual wield them. One of them is fire, and one of them is ice, I think, or something like that. Is that I know that's not a mod because I have those in.
That's on Solstheim. That's.
Oh, is it from there? Okay. Oh, is that Deathbrand?
Yeah, it's the pirate. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Soul Render and Blood Tear or something.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. I didn't
Very
realize
nice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that those existed, but I wouldn't have been able to begin to tell you where you would have picked those up from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm going to have trouble with this restriction of not going to Solstheim because I'm getting pillaged by the stupid cultists along the roads.
When I was doing the Mages College. I've completed it now, and I've got the helmet of the iron helmet of the Unburned, and I also found a necklace of fire abatement. So I've got like the maximum you can get of fire resistance.
Nice.
So I love going up against the cultists. Ooh, look at those lovely robes. I don't even have to put any protection. Don't have to take any potions. Nothing. I just run up to them and start wailing them while dual wielding into their face. It's brilliant.
And Victor, you can feel free to go ahead and go to Solstheim. Just don't play through the Dragonborn quest. I've already been to Solstheim because I tried to get into the Gildenhall Barrow to get all that free cash, but it wouldn't let me in, and that's where I got all my bone mold armor from.
Yeah,
But
well, I
you
may
can feel
have
free to go adventure. Just just try to stay off the Dragonborn quest.
Yeah, once
And even if you do want to do it, you know what? You can start a new character for the next roundtable if you want. And I guess
Let's-
we're letting the cat out of the bag. The next roundtable after the dragon storyline will be the Dragonborn storyline up in Solstheim. I was thinking that maybe we'll do a Civil War, but then I remembered, oh wait, we've assigned people to be in the Imperial Legion and the Stormcloaks already, so there'll be some people further ahead than others.
Yeah.
But, so we're going to set aside the Dragonborn quest line as the next roundtable project starting in September. Cat out of the bag. So after I spoke to the Jarl, it launches the next quest line. And I have written down JB. That must stand for Jarl Balgruuf. That's funny. So JB sends me off to High Hrothgar. I guess Hrothgar. You don't pronounce that H, I guess. High Hrothgar, and he let me become the Thane at that point, and assigned Lydia to be my servant lady, and allowed me to purchase the Breeze home, and all that stuff happened when I talked to Jarl Balgruuf there. I assume that guy happened with you as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have an armored troll with me, but I forgot to mention when I was doing the Dead Man's Respite for the Bard's College, there was a Dead Man's Respite. There's a spear trap not far from the entrance, and my troll died, so I reloaded, and he got stabbed again by the spears, and I was like, this is not going to work well. So I tried it one last time, and he died again, and he just kept nailing that one little stone that makes the spears pop out. So I had him wait outside, and then when I finished the thing, he was gone. So I was like, well, crap, where's my troll? So I was really concerned that I was going to be without trolls for the rest of the game, so I was going to have to assign myself a new secondary follower. But I just decided to go to back to Fort Dawnguard to see if there was an option. And he did sell me another troll. And then I counted, and I was like, oh no, there's only 3 left in the pen. I wonder if after I get through 5, if that will be it. If I can only have 5 trolls, and then I'm done. But then I went back, and a troll died in the Dragon Rising quest. The dragon toasted my troll. So right after I talked to Jarl Balgruuf, I went back to Fort Dawnguard again, and he sold me another troll, and I noticed that there were still 3, if not 4, in the pen. So I was like, oh, he must be a troll breeder or something. He's getting these trolls from. He must show his trolls on the weekend. That's his hobby. And,
yeah, they do agility contests and stuff.
Exactly. So I guess my trolls were pure of breed because he lets me keep buying them. So, and I looked it up online, and they're infinite. I can buy as many trolls as I want to. There's an endless supply.
I was assigned the Frost Troll as my secondary follower as well, but I have yet to start Dawnguard, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like having them around. Like I said in the last show, they're loud and they sound sloppy and stuff, but as Colin mentioned, they don't tip people off to your presence. They can't give you away. So, no, but I like having them around. They're really fun. I like having the troll. But after Dragon Rising, we went to the next quest, which was called Way of the Voice. And Colin, would you like to describe a little bit of the Way of the Voice, just a basic background of the quest, what you have to do and all that?
The Way of the Voice is you need to head to Iverstead, and once you get to Iverstead, then the quest marker changes from Iverstead to High Hrothgar. Outside, you can pick up a little quest from a man called Klimek, and he will let you know that there's some dangers on the way up, and look out for some wolves, and if you can take up some dried meats up to the Greybeards that are pretty dangerous fellows, but they don't seem to want to harm anybody. You make your way up what's called the 7,000 steps, in inverted commas, and you travel all the way up. As you get to the halfway up, you meet a couple of people, and you see some shrines. It's really important that you read every single shrine in order on the way up. You'll find out why once you get to the very top. And about 3/4 of the way up, you meet a lovely little frost troll that's going to welcome you to the near top of High Hrothgar. Once you get past him, then it's smooth sailing, and then you get to High Horror and go in there and speak to the Greybeards.
And what did the tablets reveal to us?
It reveals a nice little, I don't know what you would call it, an active effect called the Voice of the Sky, which will stop all creatures from attacking you or running from you for 24 hours. But not trolls.
Not trolls.
Only just creatures, like bears, spiders, wolves, foxes and bunnies will not run or attack you.
Huh. I've never triggered that.
No?
It's a revelation. Interesting.
Very nice. Did you count the steps on the way up?
No, but our good friend Gopher has, and there are about 735, I think.
Yeah, I counted them too. I came up with 746.
I just knew that there was nowhere near 7,000, so...
No.
I keep on telling everybody they're on the other side of the mountain on the other way up that you can't find.
I was wondering why they make you go to Iverstead first. Then I thought maybe it's because they just want to show you the pathway. Is there any other way up the mountain? Is that the only pathway that you can take?
I think that's the only way you can get up. You can go down, like you can go down the side of the mountain and like come out at Riverwood and different other places, but I don't think you can go up any other way than through.
Yeah, I've tried. It's virtually. I think it's impossible.
Yeah, they have it set up with all the blocking of the path, so you can't get up that way.
Yeah.
So, what happened when you got up the mountain, Victor? Do you have any fun stories on the way up?
Oh, not really. Sorry, I just ran up. I tend to. I mean, I've done that a number of times, so I just sort of sprint by all the animals and the trolls and stuff like that. I don't bother to stop and kill them. Or if I'm riding a horse, I just ride even harder and sprint away. No, I just went straight up and started the way of the voice.
I use sneak and calm on all the creatures. Just calm them and sneak past.
Yeah. I don't like bears much, but it just seems terrible just to willfully kill them all on the way up. There must be 4 bears on the way up those steps. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I crossed the bridge to hit the path, immediately a bear attacked us.
Yeah.
And I sent my troll up to go fight him, and then I went up to give him a hand, and I ended up whacking my troll in the face and killed him.
Oh, no.
So I killed the bear, too, and then I fast-traveled back to... I've decided I'm not riding my horse back to the Fort Dawnguard every time I need a new troll. So I fast-traveled back, and then fast-traveled back again to Iverstead with yet another troll. But at this point, I was actually over level 20, so my normal troll turned into a frost troll. And that's where I got my new buddy Frosty. He and I went up the mountain, and then I had a troll off when we came up to the frost troll, and I let them beat on each other for a little while. But it didn't look like my troll was going to end up on the positive end of that, so I gave him a hand and helped him with our enemy frost troll that we met like 3/4 up. And so then we eventually made it up to the top. What's his name? Angier? The Greybeard.
Yeah,
Ongear.
Ongear, yeah.
Did you have any interesting interactions with Ongear, anyone?
I shouted in his face.
Shouted in his face. I wrote down in quotation marks here, "Let us taste of your voice." I just thought that was a really strange way to say "shout at me."
Yeah, all right, old man, pucker up.
Yeah, really.
Let us taste of your voice. And when you taste your voice, you get the second part of the unrelenting force, right?
Row.
You get a row, which
You get row there.
stands for balance, I believe. I wrote that down. Hopefully that's correct. And we also learned the first word of the Whirlwind Sprint, which is Fury. And so then you have to go outside and they make you do a little sprinting demonstration, right?
Yeah, I've just started using that more often. I didn't realize for a long time that you could use that to jump across short, chasms and things. So I've been playing with Whirlwind Sprint more this time.
Have you found that in caves and dungeons that they have set up a lot of specific little high perches and stuff for you to use that?
I don't know if there's a lot of them, but there are several places where you can find a treasure chest or something. I'm not sure if there are any. Just like there's no quest that relies on you having lockpicks, I don't think there's any quest that relies on you being able to jump over something in order to get to further along in the quest. Is there it's the only place I can think of, and forgive me, I don't remember which dungeon it's in, but there's one dungeon where you pass 3 stones that activate as you pass them and raise gates. And
that's the very next one. That's the Horn of Jorgen Winkle.
Is it in there? Yeah, and I think there you're sort of expected to use the Whirlwind Sprint, but I don't think you even have to use it there. I think you can sprint through that.
Your normal running is fast enough to get through those?
I think so, because I'm too stupid to think of stuff like that. I think I sprinted through it the first time and didn't use Whirlwind Sprint. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you're certainly expected to use it there. But yeah. So anyway, sorry to jump ahead like that.
Oh no, you're fine. Yeah, that's where we're headed to next anyway. After you go out into the courtyard to demonstrate your whirlwind sprint, you have to run through that gate that closes, and they say, "Oh yeah, you did a good job," and then Angier tells you that the next step to becoming the Dovahkiin would be to go to Ustengrav to retrieve the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. And the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller, would you like to give us a brief description of a general outline of that quest there, Victor?
Well, sure. Obviously, I've already let the cat out of the bag on it. Details are not my strong suit, so you'll have to forgive me when it comes to things like that. I don't take notes like you two do, but I do like that area over there where Ostengrav is. It's the marshes and so on. But the crux of that is that you get through there and you run through all of that stuff and kill lots of Draugr, I guess, and things, and you end up at the end of it and there's no horn.
No horn!
So, and then that's when you go and meet our friend Delphine.
In inverted commas, friend.
Yeah, friend. That opens up a whole other thing. I'm not a big fan of the blades, so
I can't just let this get brushed over again. Do the Brits actually call quotation marks inverted commas?
Yes.
Wow, I was not aware of that. That's very interesting. That's awesome. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Go right ahead.
So, I've said my piece about the blades. No, actually, it's a fun dungeon if I remember correctly. It's not a bad dungeon to go through. I don't usually pay attention to or remembering exactly what loot I get out of it out of all these dungeons either. But there's some good stuff in there if I remember correctly.
I have written down that there was an ice mage and a fire mage, so I took both of their robes. And there are plenty of skeletons and Draugr in there, which is good for me because I'm collecting bone meal for my bone mold armor.
Oh yeah.
Also, I've written down that there was a necromancer in there, so there's would that be the conjuration robes maybe? And there were other mages in there. There was lots of magic guys in there. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got some notes on it if you don't mind.
Yeah, go right ahead, sir.
So head into Ustengrav, use illusion to get necromancers to kill the thralls. Thralls actually win, then drop dead after killing the necromancers. The only thing that goes well. No illusion spells save Muffle and Courage for Lydia. I use archery to get Drogo's attention, summon a flame Atronach, and back Lydia up with healing hands. We finally get to the final room, and it's spiders. Nice. Hit him with Fury and a flame Atronach. Giant frostbite comes down, and have to dual cast Fear on him, but it works. He doesn't run away, but he doesn't attack either. Switch to dual wield until we take him down, and then enter the final room and find a note. WTF.
Is that where the spiders are? That's the area of the dungeon where all the pressure plates and the flames are. You have to sort of jump across, or again.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just put 2 restorations, one in each hand, and just ran straight through the room, getting blasted by fire the whole time.
That's good.
Hey, Colin, when you dual wield, what are your 2 weapons you like to bust out?
At that point, I think I still had the War Axe of Ice from the Drogo Overlord in Bleakfold's Barrow, and I had a Skyforged steel sword.
Very nice.
I also, in the chest inside Uzagrav, I think you guys are going to hate me, I picked up some steel plate boots of brawn from the chest. Increases my carry weight by 40.
Nice.
I actually also got some boots of brawn out of that chest as well, Colin.
Really?
They were not steel. They were dwarven boots of brawn.
Nice.
So that's what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I like carrying those around there. Good boots. So you get to the last room there, and there's a mysterious note telling you that I've taken the horn. And you're saying, what the F? Why'd you do that? So it's just a mysterious note telling you that you have to meet someone at the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood. And I said, well, why the F didn't you get a hold of me when I was getting the Golden Claw, like 2 months ago, you big dummy? If you knew that it was predicted in the stars that the Dragonborn was returning, you should have known by then, right? Come on, you didn't learn all this in the last week.
Yeah, she could have said something when you brought the Dragonstone to Whiterun. Even that's where you first meet her.
Exactly. Like when you see Delphine in that scene when you're talking to Farengar, she should have just said, "Oh wait, hey, it's you."
That's right. Here's the horn.
Here's the horn right now. You don't have to do all that. You don't pay attention to those old crazy kooks up on the mountain. They have no idea what they're talking about anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you a failed mission. At least I got it. When you pick up the note, it's like you failed the mission. And I said, wait a second, that's not my fault.
Yeah. Damn you, Bethesda.
Yeah. But in that chest in the last room, I got 226 gold. I got the spell tome, Candlelight, and I got some iron gauntlets as well. And there was about 15 gold just sitting loose in front of the chest. And I also picked that up along with my boots. Anything happen on the way to Riverwood, or anything interesting happen in Riverwood, guys, before you went to talk to Delphine?
I done a crap ton of stuff.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, me too. So go for
it. From there, we head to Winterhold. Again, still not knowing that we need to be level 70 to get the expert spells. I get so pissed off I start a Mage's Quest to see if that will get Drevis to sell me the spells. It doesn't help, but I did grab an Elven Sword of Consuming from the chest and the Staff of Jurek Golderson. Nice, but it eats 1,000,000 soul gems a second.
Ooh.
After hitting the Books quest, I head south to kill everyone in Fort Castav for funsies. Doesn't help. I head back to Breeze home for a break and some selling.
Colin, does that Golderson, does that give you a piece of the Golder amulet too?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought so, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, if I continue on, we'll be here for about another 15 minutes. So
it's fine, we got all the time in the world. Oh, I jotted something down here. You said that you use your muffle already, Colin. Where did you get your muffle? Did you just purchase that at the college?
Yeah, I think I purchased that from Farengar, I think.
Oh, from Farengar. That's cool.
think
I've been looking all over for a muffle and I can't find it anywhere. So maybe I'll go check with Farengar, see if he'll sell me one.
Yeah, I think I did. Either I got it from him or from I just don't remember, man. I take notes, but it started turning into like first-person story instead of actual notes. So,
Yeah,
because I couldn't
got a
remember.
narrative going.
Yeah.
How about something that's enchanted with muffle? Because I'd rather, disenchant something and learn the enchantment to put on my boots. Because I like to do the carry weight and the muffle on boots. I have a necklace of sneak, which you can also put on your boots, but I'd rather have muffle instead of sneak. I don't know why. I just prefer muffle.
I mean, if you started, was it the Dark Brotherhood quest? You could get it because all their shoes are all muffled.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip. I will go check out Dark Brotherhood then, because I actually, between the first episode and the second episode, I did the Companions quest. So in between the second and the third episode, I went and did the. I also did the Mages Guild. I started the College of Winterhold quest. So I am now the. They don't call it the president or master, whatever he is, the leader of the college.
The Archmage.
Yeah, there you go, the Archmage. I've got the Archmage's robes and everything now. But so I should be able to go find something with muffle on it. But I will definitely go check out the Dark Brotherhood now, see if I can find some of their shoes. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I actually ended up going from Riverwood. I decided to heck with the main quest for a while. After meeting Delphine, I went to Riften and did a few things. I did the little fetch quest for Mjol and picked up Grimsever and brought it back to her and took her on as a follower. I'd never had her as a follower before. She is probably more badass than Uthgerd is. She's pretty.
Yeah. Can you test something for me, Victor, with Mjol? She's like a specific two-handed, or isn't she?
Yes. Although it's funny about her, she, according to the stats you get when looking through the amazing follower tweaks, I don't think her two-handed is as good as her one-handed. That's weird. Even though she carries Grimsever is a two-handed sword. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I've heard a rumor that you know the giant hammer that giants carry around with them.
Yes.
That you cannot pick that up yourself, but if you have a two-handed follower, you can activate them and then make them pick up the hammer.
Yes, I have actually done that with it was a Gregor. You can't wield it, and I forget exactly which giant camp that's in. I think it's the one along the road between the Nightgale Inn and Dawnstar, I think, somewhere up in there. But anyway, you can pick it up and then give it to your follower, and then yes, the follower will. Although it seems to me I saw a video somewhere of somebody actually wielding it in their PC with their PC. So I don't know, but I will try it with Mjol and see if I can get her to. I'll give you a screenshot.
Thanks, man.
I always forget that you can boss your followers around to actually doing activities for you, like picking locks and all that. I always end up just doing everything by myself, but I need to start telling them to do more for me. Especially if they can pick up giant hammers and stuff.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's the actual weapon isn't all that much more powerful than some advanced two-handed swords. It's only, at least it's leveled at around 100, I think, in my playthrough, which is the same as a couple of other things like Volendrung, the big hammer of Malakath you get. When you do the quest over in Riften.
Love that hammer.
Yeah, it's just pretty cool. Much better than
that guy's a dick.
Which one?
And that to go get the Volendrung,
He
tells you to go
Mars.
kill the giant. He tells you to go kill the giant, but then like he wants to take credit for it, and then he says he's going to kill you if you do this or that. And I was like, man, this guy's a real jerk.
Well, one time I told him, no, I'm not going to kill the damn giant. You go do it, and he did. But the giant killed him.
That's nice.
He flies up in the air, doesn't he?
Yeah, he flies up in the air. Yeah, he just totally disappeared. I don't think I ever found him.
Yeah, the giant one-shots him.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's not completely useless, but yeah, he's a bit of a schmuck.
Nice.
So, yeah, what else did I do? I did a whole mess of stuff. I did the Shroudhearth Barrow quest in Iverstad.
Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
There's it's sort of a 2-level quest. You have to go in and determine why there seems to be a ghost terrorizing the locals. Turns out it's not a ghost. It's just some crazy treasure hunter. I forget his name now. But when you come back and tell the innkeeper that it really wasn't a ghost, that he's a dumbass, and he should have been a little more courageous and gone in there, he says, well, that's great, thank you very much, and he gives you a claw, and so you go back into the barrow and use the claw to get into the second half of the dungeon. And after that, it's all a blank. I don't remember what I did. I don't remember what I got out of it. I just remember coming out of it a little richer than I was when I went in. So I did that. Where else have I been? Laid to Rest. I went to Morthal. I did that. That's the little girl who's killed by the vampire, I think. Isn't that the one?
Yeah.
And I'm looking on finding Karjo now because I have his moon amulet. So I may actually pick up Karjo as well as a follower. That should be fun. I've never had him before.
He's really good with the audio commentary. He's quite
Yeah, I've heard some of that, of course, from the playthroughs, but. So and I guess all of us have done the Mages College. I haven't completed it yet, but I have been to, I think it's Mzulft, where you go to, you don't end up getting the staff, but you work that mirror mechanism or whatever it is that you have to turn in various different directions. Yeah, so that's about as far as I've gotten with that right now.
Do you guys remember the movie The Dark Crystal?
Oh God, I saw that so long ago. I remember seeing it.
It was a Jim Henson production back in the day, and at one point the Gelfling goes to this old witch with one eye, and she's in this tower and has like this big spinning thing with all these globes and worlds revolving around it. And that instrument reminded me a lot of that scene from
That's
The
cool.
Dark
I'll have to
Crystal.
go back and watch that.
Hey, we have it on our DVD shelf. I think it stands up. I get made fun of for a lot of the movies I watch, but I like that sort of thing.
I know. I remember watching that. Good, well produced stuff like that always holds up. Doesn't matter whether it's puppets or CG. Yep.
But do you know what that instrument was called, Colin? With the big instrument with the revolving pieces that you have to heat up or cool down. I don't remember what it's called.
No, I know you get the focusing crystal off the Mac Daddy Farmer.
Yeah, it took me a while to find that. I had to go back and search all the dead bodies. I was just like, oh, I must have killed one and then had another one attack me, so I didn't have time to, loot the one that was dead on the ground. So I, had missed one of the bodies when I was looking, so I had to go back through and find. I've done that before with, I think one of the claws or something like that. I was like, why the hell can I not get through this door? And then eventually I went back and searched all the dead bodies and found one of the claws, and I was like, oh, this is because I needed the key. I'm a dumb. Yeah. What did you get into in there, Colin?
From where? What, the Mages Guild quest?
Yeah, we could doing the Mages Guild quest, in Mzulft. Did you have fun in Mzulft? Have you got there yet?
Let's see. Yeah, yeah, I've done that. Where is it? No, I've done that, but that was like recently after I finished all. So I got like loads of stuff in front of that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go. Let's backtrack a little bit and catch up with where you left off last.
Okay, so where is it? Yeah, so I bring Nettlebane back to. Like I missed some stuff before. I went to go and get Nettlebane with Lydia, and we found the.
Can you explain what Nettlebane is, real quick?
When you go into right one, you see the big tree, and it's looking old and decrepit. So somebody mentions, like if you go into the bar, mentions that you should talk to Danica about the tree and getting it looking a little bit better. So you talk to her, and she says that there is a way to get it back up to what it used to be, but you need some sap from the parent tree, and to be able to cut into that tree, you're going to need a weapon that's made by the Hag Ravens called Nettlebane that they use for sacrificing Spriggans. So you have to go up to Hag's End Rock or something rock to go and get Nettlebane from the Hag Ravens. And
Danica is the priestess. Is she the priestess there by the temple that's...
Yeah, priestess of Kinnereth.
Kinnereth, that's right, yeah. So she tells you to go off and find Nettlebane.
Yeah, so you go and get Nettlebane. When I got Nettlebane, I found... where is it? Meridia's Beacon. In the
wow. Popped up there.
Yeah. So
I just recently learned that Meridia's Beacon is kind of randomly placed throughout the game. I thought that you would get it from the same place each time, but evidently they swapped that around where you can pick that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it in some vampire cave under an island once. That's so yeah.
So I bring. So now we get to the one where I bring it back to Danica, and she asks me to go.
Sorry to interrupt again. Was Nettlebane conveniently on the way to the parent tree?
No, because you got to get it and then you got to bring it back again. Because you're bringing it back to Danica. Because you're going to go. Oh well, here you go. There's Nettlebane. Go and get your sap. And she's like, well, I don't want to touch that thing. I didn't expect you to come back. I was like, oh. Nice.
Or she says something like, "Well, I would, but I'm busy," or something.
Why wouldn't she want to touch it? Is it a Daedric artifact?
Not that I know of. It looks very similar to I should say, an ebony dagger, but I don't think it's actually Daedric. It's not very powerful. I know that much.
Yeah. Okay.
So I bring Nettlebane to Danica, and she asks me to go and get the Elder Green sap. I see Ayla, and she sends me after some Silverhand plans in the Rift. It's far, but close to Thorndawn, so it works for me. Mm-hmm. I also pick up a giant bounty near Voltime Tower, so decide to grab the books for Ureg on the way too. Nice. 6 birds, 1 long-ass walk. But we pick up an extra, Maurice Jondrell. Kind of fruity, but I don't judge. We make our way to Falglow Keep and lose Maurice on the way to a bear. I offered him some armor, but he wouldn't hear of it. Kids. I clear Falglow and get the books, but not much else of note. Same with the giant camp, except to find a book in the cave called The Knights of the Nine. I don't recall ever seeing that one before. Voltime Towers is a different story. I picked up lots of gold off the fools, then got hit with the lucky stick to find a pair of ebony boots in their chest.
Nice.
I might finally be rid of this annoying light armor. I might get to the Elder Gleam Sanctuary and meet a couple of fruitcakes warning me away. I think I have some gold coming my way, so I ignore them. Whoops. Hippie 1 and Hippie 2 go down after I grab the sap. But I get a staff of healing and a set of steel plate armor of imminent destruction, so I call it a win.
Huh.
Yeah, that's mighty. Good job.
Do you want me to continue, or should I stop?
No, please, go ahead.
I come outside to hear a dragon. I think I was sneaking on by, but those greybeards got under my skin with that dragonborn business. We take it down. Lydia, the Atronach, and me with Jurik's staff. Luckily, I grabbed the Soul Trap spell from Farengar a while ago, because this only has 5 good shots in it before it needs recharging.
Wow.
We take him we take him down, and I use the soul to learn the fire breath shout. I head over to his perch to find another word of power, frost breath, and see a chest and grab the helmet of alchemy. That'll be handy.
Yes, it will. Wow. Do you have a preference versus the fire shout or the frost shout?
The fire shout, because it works really well against vampires. I don't remember it being this powerful. I was walking up and hitting, and I only have the first word, hitting bandits with it and taking their health 3/4 of the way down.
Wow.
Nice.
I don't remember the fire breath shout ever being that strong.
Yeah, I remember trying it the first time I played through and feeling like it didn't do a damn thing, so I never used it again, but obviously I was wrong.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that I got it really early because I'd done the, the companion's quest, and that's where you find the very first word. Is with Farkas when you're doing what's the early one with Farkas that you got to do? Blood's Honor or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the fire breath. So maybe it's because I started using it really early, and the last time I used it maybe was later on after you do and get higher ups. You're up against higher up enemies, got more health. It doesn't work as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would make sense. In a previous playthrough, that was my favorite shout. That's the one I used the most. Was the fire breath one. I used to love that one. But how many dragons have each of you come across and killed so far in your roundtable characters?
I have killed 9.
9. Wow. Victor, do you know how many you've killed offhand?
Yeah, I've only killed 5 so far, and I'm not sure why. They just don't seem to be rising a whole lot. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think they spawn randomly until we see Alduin at Kynesgrove.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense because I loaded up Deadly Dragons recently and haven't really had much satisfaction with that either. So that's probably why.
Yeah, when you go to the word walls, you'll find them there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to be randomly spawned in the world, I think we have to wait until we've been to Kynesgrove and met Alduin, and then he starts raising all the other ones.
Oh, that makes sense.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. I've only faced 2 dragons so far. One was at the Western Watchtower outside of Whiterun, and the other one was the skeletal dragon inside of Labyrinthian.
Yeah.
When I was doing the Mage Quest, those are the only 2 dragons that I've even seen.
Huh.
I haven't gone to find many of their burial spots yet, or any so far. So.
Yeah, like Colin said, I sought a few out at the word walls, and I don't remember if I got one of those from Arngir, because he'll tell you where the disturbance in the force is. So you can go.
Long time.
And then there's bounty quests that'll take you to various dragons as well.
Yeah, I've actually just got my first bounty for a dragon, and then I have the Arngir assigned dragon that I need to go take care of. So I do have 2 more that I can go find, but as of now, the only shouts I have are the ones that have been granted to me from the Greybeards. So I need more dragons in my life. And Colin, I felt like I interrupted you. Were you going on with your story there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy to go on with my story as long as I'm not boring you guys.
No, please do. Very interesting.
I head south towards Riften and pass through Shorestone. I find some dead Stormcloaks. Imperial bastards. I check the bodies and find an amulet of Talos and take it.
Oh, nice.
I promise revenge for him and my brother. I make it to Riften, but don't head inside. I circle around and go into Broken Helm Hollow to retrieve the Silver Hand plans. Easy. I go ahead and frenzy the Silver Hand leader, and she takes out everybody else. I go back for Lydia, and she faces her head-on while I attack her from the side. Need more stamina. These guys are getting tougher. But that was probably the Nordic carved armor she was wearing. Nice. Thank you very much.
Yes, very nice.
I get to Fort Dawnguard, and a man Eastbound wants me to check out some cave the vigilants are babbling about. I have a look around and grab a crossbow. Spot an armored dog. Seems brave, but ain't willing to follow me yet. I'll check on him the next time I'm back. Maybe the wolf blood has him spooked. I head back to Right One to drop off a lot of stuff. I give Danica the sap, and nothing. Not even one lousy septum. Bitch.
Wow.
I go to see that idiot in Jorvaska. Turns out she's as good at keeping secrets as she is at fighting. The old man chews my ass off about vengeance, and then sends me off to get a vengeance on the ones responsible for making him a werewolf. Nice. I hop to it. The old guy seems to like me, and I him. If he wants Sovereign Guard, I'll get it for him. As long as he doesn't expect me to follow suit, I'm good. I take out the witches alone. It was tough, but I got it done. I head back to Jorvaska only to find the old man got taken out by the Silver Hand. The idiot woman tells me that they got most of them, but I only see one dead body. And that dark elf lying on the floor. Does that guy ever win? One of the kids tries to get into it with me, but I don't bite, and I don't give up what Kodlak was up to. He quickly switches his target, and we're off to a final showdown with the Silver Hand. Good. I might be new here, but I put anything in the ground that messes with what's mine. It's done. The Silver Hand is all but wiped out, and we grabbed all the pieces of Wuthred. I think the kid Vilkas is not proud of what we did at Drift Shade, but it has to be done. And when we get back to the funeral, it's a big affair. Even Balgrove, that Imperial sympathizer, showed. Yorland asked me for the last piece of the axe. While grabbing it, I see the old man's diary. He didn't see the type. It made for difficult reading, but it cleared my mind of a few things. I may not follow his path of honour, but I do respect it. The blacksmith gives us the chance to still finish the old man's last request, and the other three take off like arrows to East Grimoire's tomb. I agreed to meet them there. I've got more, but it's starting to get a bit dry.
Oh, I don't think it's dry at all. I'm enthralled.
You want me to go on?
No, you can go on. My next move would be to discuss what I did in Riverwood. So until you get up to Riverwood, just go ahead and tell us what you've done until you get there.
Okay. I stopped by the college and finally grabbed some new spells from Drevis. He has some upgrades and he has invisibility. Nice, but I still don't think I'm ready. I go east and wander into Stillborn Cave. It's full of armor there, not quite like everything else I'll fight, and it helped me learn a few things about how illusion works. I need a Droga, a vampire, something not living. I come outside and get attacked by some random guy after what seemed like an hour, I get him down. I find a book of Boethi on him. I don't take too kindly to being attacked, so I slip down the side of Windhelm to the peak opposite. I sneak up and find a bunch of freaks armed to the teeth. I don't like it, especially this close to Ulfric and the Stormcloak HQ. I hit them all with frenzy, and I was right to be worried. It takes ages to get them down to one. I hit him with rout and chase him all across the mountain until I put him down, only to find out that Boethia was watching over all these guys. Great. I remember the book and give the "I did it because I wanted to" line, and it seemed to. She asked for a sacrifice, and a certain idiot comes to mind. I'll see. She might know more about this werewolf stuff, so I'll hold back for now. I head west, and while avoiding some ice wolves, I stumble upon a red guard and our pet Argonian outside some ruins. I head inside using them as cover. I try it for the first time. Success. The fear spell worked on the Droga. We get all the way through to the ruin, only to find the biggest Droga I've ever seen. I hand back some, but he's too strong for the girl. I hit his friends with frenzy, and the whole thing goes to hell, as everyone attacks everyone. I throw an Atronach into the mix. Well, just 'cause. We get it done, and the Argonian turns on us. I'm not surprised, but the kid takes it to heart and tears up. I pop up another Atronach and load her up with courage and healing as she needed it. and let her take him out, lest she get all sentimental and turn on me too. I score an ebony sword from Gathric. Very nice. I still got like loads and loads more. Do you want to pause and like talk about something else for a little bit?
I just had a question. If you cast Fury and you have a follower, will your follower attack you?
It will affect them, yes.
Okay.
I didn't think it did, because I used to do it to Lydia all the time on my original character. When I used Mayhem, the Master spell, and she never attacked me. But when I cast it on Aethys, he did go for me.
Wow. And did you immediately cast a Calm to try to counteract that?
I think I had Pacify, which is like area of effect.
Okay.
Frenzy is like area effect, so if you get close to him, you can get 3 or 4 people at the same time.
Oh, that's nice. That's great. Victor, what you said you got into a bunch of stuff before heading to Riverwood too. Do you have any little adventures you'd like to describe as well?
Well, first of all, heading to Riverwood. Which part of heading to Riverwood are we talking about?
Before you talk to Delphine and she reveals the that.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. No, actually, I let's see. Where did I go with that? I think. Yeah, I went off to, like I said, I went off and picked up Mjol, and then I went and spent more time building on Heljarken and hanging out there.
What sort of additions did you add? What do you like to do with your construction? Let's get into the house construction a little bit.
Well, this one, I like having the greenhouse, so I always build a greenhouse.
What do you like to plant in your greenhouse? Do you
Oh,
have
whatever.
specific alchemical ingredients that you like to use?
Well, you're kind of limited. You can't plant anything, so. But I usually just plant the somewhat less common stuff, whatever I can plant, and you can unplant and replant things, as much as you want. But mostly I just do the greenhouse for ambience. I don't really.
Oh, you don't use it for alchemy?
Well, I do, but it takes them a long time to grow and respawn. It's quicker just to run around the countryside and pick things.
That's very true.
So I just do it because I like having the greenhouse.
Have you ever done this thing where you wait to see how long it'll actually take for the stuff to respawn in there, where you just like look at your garden and wait 24 hours, look at your garden and wait 24 hours?
I think I looked that up once, but one of the problems with waiting when you're playing under mods like Realistic Needs and Diseases and stuff like that is that you are required. You have to eat. You have to sleep, and waiting just becomes tedious. It's almost, in fact, those mods make even fast travel kind of a pain in the butt because.
How so?
Well, fast travel takes time. I mean, it can take as many as 6 to 8 hours in quote real game time unquote. So you end up at the end of a fast. I mean, you can wake up in the morning, fast travel to some place, and you get there the next evening, and you end up having to sleep again. So anyway, as far as the greenhouse goes, I just use it as it's just nice to look at with the sunbeams streaming in the windows, and after a while, if you leave the greenhouse alone for a long time, you end up with butterflies and bugs and bees and everything else running around in there. It's very nice. There's a lot of nice background noise from all that. I never build the towers because you end up, if you furnish. Especially if you have your steward furnish the house, you end up with an alchemy table and an enchanting table anyway, so there's no use having the enchanting towers. Sometimes I build a library, but this time I built the kitchen, and I built the trophy room, I think. I don't remember now. Yeah,
very nice.
The trophy room. So
I've never built a kitchen.
The kitchen's great. Again, with a couple of the mods I'm using, I have a lot of extra recipes and things. But even without those, the kitchen has the fireplace and an oven, so you can bake bread and you can do all kinds of cool things with cooking. Make elsewhere fondue, which is actually a really good recipe. That I forget exactly what buffs it gives you, but they last a long time, and they're mostly magic related, I think. Do you remember, Colin, what the
No, I remember. Yeah, I remember the name, but I can't remember what it does.
Yeah.
I've never actually eaten it, but I do remember it was the best of all the things that you can get.
Yeah, it requires moon sugar to make, which isn't all that common, but
Yeah.
But yeah, it's anyway. So the cooking is a lot of fun in Skyrim if you sort of
Punch any Khajiit and some moon sugar will fall out. Trust me.
That's right.
I was gonna say, if it's called elsewhere fondue, does that mean it's made out of cat milk?
Yeah, it's just no, it's moon sugar. I can't remember what else besides cheese there is in it, but it's good. So that's what I've built with Heliarchin, and I added a couple of small mods just to add some extra lights to the outside of it, and I'm actually thinking about messing with the creation kit to see if I can work a few extra things into that cell for my own use.
Like what?
Some extra trees, perhaps, just to make the whole thing look a little nicer. You know, it's actually. I mean, I like Lakeview Manor, but Heliarchin, in terms of location, is probably has the nicest views for sure.
Yes, I like the view that you get of the Dragon's Reach and the High Hrothgar.
Yeah,
The
it's
World
really
Mountain
pretty.
in the distance is very nice.
Yeah. So I'm kind of enjoying being there, and I'm sort of populating it now. I'm probably going to adopt, as I usually do, Lucia, and then probably Sophie as well. So I have to work on that.
Yeah. That's the first two kids I adopted as well. My very first playthrough.
Yeah.
My first playthrough, I just got 2 kids from the Riften orphanage. I just took the first 2 that approached me.
And then you wanted to bring them back, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I wanted to return them.
Yeah.
It's just because the boy, at that point, I was dealing with my whole dog bug, and the boy kept asking to pet my dog, which was non-existent. So I was getting upset with him. I wanted to return him.
That's a pain.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Well, probably because I have daughter and granddaughters, and so I always adopt girls. I never adopt boys. But the only other one besides Sophie or Lucia that I have adopted is the little girl who's the daughter of the innkeepers in Winterhold. Because in one of my playthroughs, I managed to get a snow bear to chase me into town, and then trying to get away from it, I ran into the inn, and the snow bear followed me in and killed everybody in the inn, except the little girl.
That's great. So the game actually knows who the parents are, and if the parents are both dead, then that child will then become available for adoption?
That's correct, and
Wow.
in fact, that was my Khajiit playthrough, and I didn't even have a place. That's the one that I was living in Anissa's cabin, and I didn't have a place for her to stay, so I ran off and made lots of money and built a house and got it all ready for her. And when I went back to Winterhold, she was gone, and I finally tracked her down at the orphanage in Riften.
Oh, wow. Holy
So
cow.
yeah, the game does keep track of them. It's pretty cool.
That's great.
If you're ever planning to, it's very unpopular, but if you're ever planning to, kill Paarthurnax, like follow in the Blade's footsteps, or do what they say, never, ever, ever, ever talk to Sissel in Rorikstead. Ever.
What happens?
She says something that makes you feel like humongously guilty. Well, I read a lot of people who, because her sister keeps on beating her up, and her dad, I think, beats on her as well. So I've heard a lot of people who kill her dad, so she ends up being orphaned, and then they can adopt her.
Oh, nice.
Because apparently she's getting a real bad time of it in Rorikstead.
Child abuse is never pretty.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the only other thing I mentioned earlier on that I did that whole tour through the north doing minor quests with Koznak, but the other thing that I've started in between Riverwood, and the last part of the Horn quest is the Ethereum Forge, because I found the book and read it, and it sounded pretty cool. So we've gone off to, and I've taken. I ended up taking Koznak and her name, the orc that I got at Morkazgur is Borgak. I forgot. That's her name. Yeah, I think isn't she somebody else's follower? I remember hearing that somewhere in one of our roundtables.
Oh goodness, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think Yana ran into her and was going to ask.
Is that what it was? Okay.
In one of her updates, I'm sure she said she ran into her and she was going to ask her to come with her, but then it was something about like leaving her clan, so she didn't want to.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's anybody's.
Yeah, you end up paying her dowry. That's how you get her to leave.
So how far you got on the Ethereum Forge? Have you?
Oh, I had already picked up one shard, and so I've gone through the first, which is Arkentham Furfordens or whatever it is, and it's funny, you know, and this is again sort of an aside, but I've had 2 playthroughs now on. Now I'm trying to think. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same core game. See, I use a thing called Skyrim Installation Manager, which actually creates discrete installations of the game. So I have one I'm playing with a mod called Requiem, which is a totally different thing than Skyrim and a couple others. But this one that I play with Slythe is I'm sharing it with my other character Willem, and both of them are totally separate saves from the beginning, but both of them, that Ethereum Forge, the first quest there, where you first meet Katria, and when you get to the top of the ruin, they both glitch there. And Willem's quest, in fact, glitched so badly that I cannot do Ethereum Forge, and the Slythe playthrough, what happens is the Centurion in there gets stuck inside the gates and doesn't come out, so you can't kill him. But then everybody aggroes, so you can't get them away from him. And the first one with Willem, Katria got all aggroed, and I could not get her to split off. I couldn't get her to walk into the back where the shard is and say, "Oh, well, that's great, and I'll see you later." She just wouldn't leave. So, and I tried everything I could, even with the console. And with this one, I managed to get Katria finished, and she left. But my 2 followers got all aggroed with the Centurion, and he's stomping away inside the gates, and I couldn't get him. So I ended up resorting to the console with that one and just killed him with a console command.
That's convenient. You can do that.
It's handy, yeah, because although in my 360 playthroughs that I've done, I've never had a problem in there. It just seems to be on the PC for some reason. I don't know what it is about this save or this particular game installation that's.
Well, I've noticed when I on the PC one, when I went into Blackreach, all the Centurions activated automatically.
Really?
If I went anywhere near them. On my Xbox version, I'd have to go and actually pull the lever or attack them to activate them.
Really?
Is that what happened in the Ethereum Forge when you got there, the Centurion just activated it on its own?
No, I think it's possible that the reason, it's because I've done so many playthroughs, I know the sequence for that tonal lock.
Yeah.
So I just go ahead and bang, 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 and so the gate doesn't open. So I think maybe the next time I will try, or maybe I'll just go back, because I'm not that far along with it. Maybe I'll just go back to a previous save and start it again and see if that does it. If just doing it wrong once so that he comes out, then killing him, and then going back and doing it right might just advance the quest to the right spot.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that's the problem with doing certain things too many times. You know the answer. So.
Exactly. It's just like going up the 7,000 steps. You just kind of brushed by all the the tablets there. Didn't take a stop to read them. I also did the same thing. I rushed up the 7,000 steps too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. In fact, I was thinking about that yesterday when I was playing a little bit, and I really need to role play it a little better. Just pretend that I've never done this before. It makes things more fun. Don't click through all the dialogue. Listen to the dialogue and.
I'm horribly guilty of skipping through dialogue. Yeah, I'm like, shut up, let's go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna make an effort to do that.
Yeah. That's cool. Your adventures with the Ethereum Forge.
Well, I'm looking forward to the crown because that allows you to have 2 stones in effect.
Yes, that is a very good bonus. What are the other options, though, besides the Ethereum crown?
There's a staff.
What's the staff do for you?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Victor.
No, I can't remember what the other one is.
The staff summons either a spider or a sphere, I think.
Yeah.
I know it's a spider. I think it's also sometimes a sphere as well. And then you've got the shield, which if you bash somebody with the shield, it makes them ethereal. Like your ethereal shot that makes you like the weapons can't harm you.
Mm-hmm.
The shield does that to your enemy.
So you bash them and then you can't kill them?
Yeah, but they can't hurt you.
Oh, okay.
So you have time to pull, when you're ethereal, when you use the shout, you can't heal yourself. If you heal yourself, then you're going to dissipate the ethereal effect.
Yeah, you pop back to normal.
Yeah, but if you make them ethereal while they're ethereal, you can heal yourself, or you can run away, or you can summon up an Atronach while they're sort of can't do anything until they come back. I think it only lasts like 5 or 10 seconds or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my last playthrough, I'm playing a robot character as well who's obsessed with the Dwemer everything. So I did the Ethereum Forge with that character, and I took the staff just because I thought it would be cool to be able to summon a little spider whenever I needed help. But now that you mentioned the crown, I probably should have gone with that. The crown seems more useful.
I think of the 3, it's the most lastingly useful, if you want to put it that way. The other ones are fun, but they don't seem all that practical in the long run.
Well, yeah, now the staff is just sitting on my wall in the trophy room.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, what good is it doing me there? I should have taken that damn crown.
Yeah. I figured between that and the Spellbreaker shield, the crown and the shield, makes a pretty powerful combination. But I'm not going to do the Spellbreaker shield because Slythe is definitely an enemy of Peryite. It wants nothing to do with helping Peryite in any way.
Yeah, okay.
So that's all part of the role play,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin, did you have more story to continue on with your adventure there?
Yeah, so I just finished off with Gathric and pulled his ebony sword off him, so that was good.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm ready, and I head to Isgramore's tomb and meet up with the others. We head inside, and just as well I figured out how to influence the dead, as that's what we had to do to get to the old man. We lose Vilka straight away. Better off. His head wasn't right for this one. No wonder nearly all the elves got taken out. These companions are tough. But it wasn't that scares off Farkas, but the spiders. It's just me. It's just me and the idiot left. Great. The last 2 rooms aren't so bad. I'll let the ghosts take themselves out while the idiot hits them with arrows and the Atronach burns them up. Nice. We cure the old man and he makes mention of me being the new Arbinger. I ask the idiot and she doesn't seem to mind, so I go with it. I score some good stuff from the chest, including a shield and an ebony bow. I can't carry it at all, so I ask the idiot and she agreed me to carry the stuff back home. Enjoy, Sovngarde, old man. You deserve it. On our way back to Whiterun, I stop by the college again and pick up on what's been happening there. I speak to the monk again, who didn't make any sense. Then to a ball of light, that didn't make sense. Then to Savos, who didn't seem to know what was going on. And then finally spoke to Mirabelle and got some real answers and an intelligent conversation. Then she sends me to Mizulft. Then I realise I can't be bothered and I head back to Whiterun. I get back to Whiterun, and after sorting out a few things, I head up to Jorvaskar to see that dark elf again. I want to see why he was allowed in the first place. So I tell him I need some help, and to come with me. I sort him out with some elven gilded armour and a crossbow, amongst other upgrades, and head off to Dim Hollow Crypt and see what's up with these vampires. We go through Dim Hollow pretty easily. The illusion works a treat on vampires too. We get past them all only to find one trapped in a box. I don't know why I didn't just kill her and take their fancy pants scroll, but I didn't. It was just as well. Turns out she's a pretty decent fighter, as we found out when we tried to leave the crypt, only to come across another huge Drogo Death Overlord, where I also found out that the moron Dark Elf fights better in heavy armour and nearly got me killed by going down after 6 hits. We get it done, and I give him the ebony axe I pulled after Drogo, seeing as he became intimately acquainted with it as many times during the fight. I agreed to take the vampire to a castle to see what's what, and get some intel for Eastran. Not my greatest decision, but there you go. Before I take her there, I stop by Meridia's shrine after Aethys makes himself useful and lets me know how much she hates undead. She can't hate him that much if she let the vampire in. I collect a nice bit of coin in the ruins and take out the necromancer by making him fight his own summoned shades. The vampire and the dark elf did the rest. Not a bad reward either. A weapon specifically designed to destroy undead. Hopefully the vampire took note of that. I bring the vampire to a castle and finally see what's going on. Whoops. This is about to get nasty. Luckily the girl vouches for me and I make it out. I tell Aethys what's going on and we make a straight run for Fort Dawnguard. That was one hell of a trek, but well worth it. After stopping by Whiterun to grab that Nordic carved armour for Aethys, we continued on past Falkreath, and I ran into a mercenary in ebony armour. He mentioned something about trouble ahead, and I told him to tell me about it. He then became hostile and I had to put him down, all legal and above board. I got some ebony armour and decided to switch it with my current garb right there and then.
Ah, very nice.
I returned to Eastran to let him know what happened, only to have my ass chewed off again. Then he mentioned getting help, and I agreed. I went in to see that dog again, but to no avail. I left in search of Eastran's former colleagues. Gunmar was not too far, but the Breton girl was miles away, so I didn't stop along the way. I ran all the way there, all the while hitting bears and spiders and bandits with Pacify, only to realise that I'd have to do it all again on the way back because I didn't kill the bastards. Success. I returned to Fort Dawnguard, and after a little test by Isran to see if I was a vampire, idiot, I headed over to the dog again. Gunmar must have the magic touch, because this time he did follow me. Nice. I went upstairs to see what Isran wanted to see about, and only to see the vampire again. She wanted to join me again to put a stop to whatever her father is up to. But she didn't want Aethys along for the ride, so I refused and told her to wait until I came back. I still wanted to find out what this dark elf could do. And that was it.
That's very nice. That's great. Yeah, when I went to Fort Dawnguard, I had to go get his 2 recruits, and that's, in order to get the troll or anything to follow you out of Fort Dawnguard, you have to go recruit two of... What's his name? Iskar? No. What's his name?
Gunmar.
Yeah, you have to go get him and then a lady, too.
Serene Gerard.
Yeah. You bring those back.
Gunmar was the dog and troll trainer?
No, the dogs were already there. When I first showed up, the dogs were already there. The only people that were there were Isran, the orc, and that kid that you meet on the way in.
Right.
But the dog, Bran, was already there, but he just wouldn't follow me.
Sounds like you guys could have your own little sitcom over there in Fort Dawnguard, Gunvar and Gunmar together, and like bosom buddies or something.
Yeah.
So that's great. So that's as far as you've gotten with the Dawn Guard. Did you do any other adventuring?
Yeah, loads, but I didn't make note of that because I got sidetracked with work, bastards.
Oh, man. Screw work.
So I'm currently level 40.
Wow.
I've got my my illusion is 100. My one-handed is 100.
I was going to ask. You said that it was a drawback running past all those bears and casting your illusion spells. But that would help you if you could do it on the way there and on the way back. That's probably...
Yeah, but I kept on dying halfway through.
Are you a frequent saver?
Not frequent enough. Yeah, it can never be frequent enough when you're coming up against those bastard bears.
Yeah.
Kill them all, I say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other interesting adventures in there as well, Victor?
Not really. Let's see. Just no, nothing of consequence.
Cool.
I did Elder Gleam as well. I did the Wolf Skull Cave thing for Falk Firebeard, and I also went and got Nostor's helmet for him because I wanted to do a good deed. But we're working up to go. I have to say, Slythe has started to, I guess, mellow a little bit. He was an assassin for most of his career, and he had intended fully to take Koznak and sacrifice him to Boethia, but he's kind of changed his mind. So now we have to figure out whether we even want to do the Boethia quest or not. So that's our current dilemma.
Yeah. Well, I saw Colin's picture of his brand new armor, and I was like, "Ooh, that's very nice." So I was trying to discuss with him where he got that, but he wouldn't tell me until today's little adventure. So that's very nice, Colin. So it was a mercenary that you killed and took all of his ebony armor.
Hey, he attacked me first.
He was asking for it. I was assuming that you had gone to Boethia already and gotten her armor that will basically do the vampire thing. Doesn't it absorb health, basically?
No, when you're but when you're sneaking, it gets that black mist and it causes poison damage.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I think it's also mail, isn't it? It's light armor instead of heavy armor.
Oh, cool.
I think. I'm not sure of that.
It's called mail, but I'm sure it's heavy armor.
Is it still heavy?
I had it on my second playthrough, I think. But on my very first playthrough, I just went there after that guy attacked me, and I was just like, and then she went, "Oh, kill somebody," and I went, "What?" And then I just took out my warm hammer and I just started laying waste to the entire place. So I decided to do that on. I thought Gunvar was exactly the same type. He just get there, and I mean, he didn't even listen to him. He just saw them fighting each other, and they all looked like a bunch of freaks. He didn't even speak to any of them. He just shut them all up with frenzy and let them all kill each other. That's what that one last guy.
Yeah, I did pretty close to the same thing in my first playthrough. I just killed them all, but then I ended up. Who did I sacrifice? Oh, that's right, because I married Camilla, but Findall kept sniffing around and coming into Lakeview Manor and just appearing there. Or I'd get back home after a quest, and there was Findall coming out the door, and I thought, that's it for you, buddy. And I took him and sacrificed him to Boethia.
I'll teach you to sniff around, my lady.
That's right. So.
There's another one. You're getting Mjol. If you induct her into the Blades, Aaron goes with her on all the missions.
Crazy.
And I took them all out to go fight a dragon, and he was there, and the dragon kept on going for him, and all he had was this iron dagger, because he can't talk to him, he can't give him anything, and he's just got this iron dagger. The dragon just ate him, in about 5 seconds. It was
good.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he's very annoying.
Hey, Colin, something I wanted to ask you about. This is off topic, sorry, but in the last episode, I thought I remembered we were talking about how you take off all of your gear, then you'll see that quest items don't actually weigh anything.
Yeah.
you had mentioned that just in passing, this like, oh, when I take off all my gear to go to bed, do you strip down every night when you go home? Do you put all your stuff on the mannequin? And
when I'm out adventuring, that lasts like days and days. When I go back to the house, and then I'm going to do like loads of more potions, and I'm going to do enchanting, maybe going to make some new gear. Then I'll go back, and then I'll have a specific mannequin to put my gear that I'm always going to wear, and I'll put that on the mannequin. And then on the chest below it, I'll put all the rings and the potions. So yeah, I take everything off, and then I'll go and then I'll put on my blacksmith overalls. And then I'll put on my smithing and alchemy gloves, and I'll put on all that specific stuff. So everything that I have on me will come off, apart from the stuff that I'm going to use to do the smithing and enchanting.
Because I could just, I just had the image of my head of, like, you know, your guy coming home after a long day of adventuring and taking off his heavy armor, you know, maybe taking a quick bath, and then putting on a nightcap and a gown, and
that's why
going to sleep for a while.
No, that's why I always go for Lakeview Manor, because I don't have a bath, so I just go out for a quick dip in the lake, and then run back.
No, but I just remember you saying that. I thought that was interesting. I thought that maybe you actually did a whole routine of getting ready for bed, you know, brushing your teeth, and that's great. And Victor, you were saying that you have developed a taste for goat because you wanted more light fixtures. And I made a note of that because I remember in my previous playthrough having the hardest time finding goat horns. So I looked at it the other day, and in the chest out front, in front of my Lakeview Manor, I keep all my building materials and everything. And I have like 60 goat horns there because every time I go to a merchant and I see that he has goat horns, I buy them now because last playthrough I remember it being impossible to find them. So I probably have way too many at this point, but I'm like hoarding goat horns now, and every time I see a goat, it's my first priority. Screw that bear! I'm gonna go kill that goat first.
That's right.
I need those damn horns, and then I'm so frustrated when you kill the goat and you get off your horse or whatever, and then you go up to it and there's no horns on it. I'm like, but I can see the horns. They're right there. I've got a big axe in my hands. I can remove them very easily. Just let me have the horns, damn it.
Luckily, one of the I think Skyrim actually adds a certain amount of I guess you could call it loot or more realistic loot. But I also use something called Harvest Overhaul, which gives you I think a much more realistic amount of stuff, and it always yields at least one horn out of a goat, if not two.
It should always be at least two because they're right there.
One would think, anyway. Yeah. But you get a goat heart and
Ooh, what do you do with that?
I forget. Goat heart actually has some interesting properties alchemically, but I can't remember what they are right now. Sorry. It's good for some potion. It's not frenzy. It's something damaging, whatever it is. I can't remember. Not to you personally, but as a poison. And you get I can get bear hearts, dragon hearts, all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah.
And you said you never killed bunnies, but you could maybe get bunny hearts too.
I don't know because I've never harvested one. That's also a mod called Hunterborn, which allows field dressing and harvesting of skinning of animals and so on. And so
that'd be great if you could harvest a bunny heart and use it in cooking or something, and it made your stamina reproduce like 10 times faster or something for a day. Or
you jump higher.
Jump higher, there you go. Or
I have to admit
or you can have your own children at a ridiculous rate.
I will harvest a bunny if I find a dead one, because after all, rabbit is very tasty. So I will, but I won't kill them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was having a look through my stats. I have slaughtered one bunny.
One bunny.
Must have been by accident. I must have been taking out something and.
Oh, I think I ran one over with my horse. Yeah.
Will that kill it? Will your horse kill it if it steps on the rabbit?
Again, I hate to keep bringing up mods, but the Convenient Horses mod allows you to use your horse as a battering ram in some cases, so you can accidentally run over things as well. But if you're sprinting with your horse, you can run things down with it.
Could you kill your own follower with that?
I've never tried, but you don't generally kill things, but you certainly stagger them if you hit them just right in sprint mode.
Nice.
And I think I ran over a rabbit once doing that.
Very nice.
By mistake.
Well, as I was heading back towards Riverwood to talk with Delphine, I popped back within the city limits, and as soon as I did, I was attacked by 2 dragon cultists.
Mm-hmm.
And Colin had mentioned the cultists before. I assume those are randomly generated after you hit a certain level. I think I was around level 20, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. But so I actually didn't hit the guys at all. The townsfolk came out and killed both of them. And it was very nice. I just actually went up and got their really cool-looking mask, and I have their robes and mask back at the house, and I actually put one on the mannequin just because I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, they do, but they don't yield much other good loot, though, do they? I mean, they don't even carry any gold or good weapons.
No, like maybe a dagger of some sort, but I didn't even. I don't even remember what they had. It wasn't worth writing down, so it couldn't have been that
I must
impressive.
have killed about a dozen of them so far. They're just all over the damn place.
Really? I've only seen 2. Huh.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm just lucky.
Yeah. So yeah, Delphine lets you in to the sleeping giant, and then you go through a secret passage into the basement. After you ask her about the attic room, she says there is no attic room. Oh, you must be the person who's looking for something special. Why don't you follow me to the basement and we'll discuss more? And then she reveals to you that she, well, I don't know if she actually reveals to you that she's a blade. I think I wrote down here that she's a blade, but then she tells you that Farengar told you to get the Dragon Stone, and the Dragon Stone is actually a map of the ancient dragon burial sites. So I need to figure out where I need to go to kill some more dragons so I can get some shouts under my belt. But anyway, she eventually gives you the horn, and you bring the horn back to Arngeir. And then he teaches you the final shout of the Fusro Da, which is Da, of course. And no, actually you learned that from Wolfgar. And Da, I think, means push, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then there's some weird little ritual where you get to taste the voice again, except for you giving the voice, you get it given to you this time. You stand in the middle and the Greybeards all shout at you, and then they say you have tasted the voice, which it's such a strange phrasing to me. I like that for some reason.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Then they tell you you are the, I wrote down Ysmir, maybe? Ysmir, which I think translates to the Dragon of the North or something similar to that. I tried to write this down as the dialogue was happening. But yeah, that basically wraps up the that quest, the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Did anyone else have anything interesting on the return trip with the horn?
Not really, except that it's fun to run out and use the full shout once you get it.
Yeah, you can kite people. It's great.
Yeah. But other than that, I haven't had. That's pretty much where I am right now. I saved that until just yesterday to finish it off. So.
Yeah, it's good to keep it a little fresh in the mind. I finished it about a week ago, and I'm like, oh man, I got to write stuff down. I'm not going to remember anything.
Because I didn't speak to Delphine. I just walked in, and she walked in, and she went, "Oh, I believe you're the Dragonborn. I believe you wanted this." And I went, "Thanks," and I walked out. She just wandered downstairs, and I was gone.
Doesn't that start the other quest as well? When you haven't quite finished the Horn quest, but she starts the Kynesgrove quest at the same time, right?
Yeah, so that's the Blade in the Dark. So that's like the next one. So
yeah,
I just took the horn and went back, finished off the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller, got the voice, and then meandered. I think I'd done finished off the Mage's quest after that.
Yeah.
So you actually did go through and finish the whole the Mage's College quest, Colin?
Yeah, I finished that. But as I said, I couldn't get to time to be able to sit down and sort of like write out and go through my saves and like story it out. So.
Do you like to wear the robes?
No, I'm in the ebony armor. So.
Yeah.
You're full battle mage.
Yeah, probably. I don't like using fear though, because you gotta chase the bastards all over the place to try to kill them. So it should be easier now that I've gone down to down a level, so they die a lot quicker. I mean a lot quicker. I couldn't believe it when I first went up against my first bandit marauder. How quickly he went down.
Have you enchanted any of your new ebony armor at all?
Yeah, I got Fiery Soul Trap on my ebony sword. I have Dawnbreaker. That's what I was dual wielding most recently. But tonight, just before we started here, I finished off the Mayrune's Razor. So I've got that. So I'm going to have the...
Nice.
When I'm doing bandits and creatures and things like that, then I'll have the ebony sword and Mayrune's Razor in the left.
Yeah.
Against undead, I'll have Dawnbreaker and then Mayrune's Razor on the left.
That's cool. Yeah, Dawnbreaker makes the undead explode or something, right?
Yeah, it's a great sword. It's awesome. I think Maroon's Razor is like it's definitely the ultimate second weapon for a dual wielder. It's a really great dagger.
Yeah, I went up against the I used it instantly the minute I got it when Dagon sends his Daedra after you. The minute you get it, I equipped it and I just dual wielded like a nutter at them, both of them, and didn't get either one of those. I went up against the dragons. There's a dragon just around the corner from Mayrune's Dagon's shrine. I done him. No instant kill. And I think there was a couple of bandits on my way back to Whiterun. And no, just for the whole time, I think I've gone about 15 people, and it hasn't worked once yet. So.
I one-shotted a dragon with that dagger once. It's quite
yeah, I've only ever done that once in one of my previous characters.
Yeah.
It is sweet because he had like 3/4 of his health left.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a very good episode thus far. Gentlemen, do you have any other quirky stories or any funny things happen along the adventure?
Well, I got Miko.
Oh, nice. Tell what happened to Bran.
Yeah. When I was returning from one of my quests that I can't remember, I ran across Shearpoint. No, I got a quest to go and kill the dragon at Shearpoint, and it turns out that that's where Croesus is. So as I approached, I activated the dragon by getting close enough and pulled him down, and me, Bran, and Aethys managed to take him down. I do exactly what Victor said earlier on, was wait till he gets down and then run in with the dual wield attack and attack him as hard as you can with the swords, and then when he flew up in the air I would get the Jurik's staff, and I had, I think, a staff of chain lightning at the time, so I kept on hitting him with those while he was in the air. So finally got him down, and then we went up to go take care of Croesus, which was an absolute nightmare because he rolls down the mountain, he rolls up the mountain, he goes down. So we ended up fighting him all the way down to Corvanjund, which is like, it's not that far away, but it's far enough away that you discover a whole new location chasing him across all of Skyrim. And we got him down to about 3, almost just about an inch left of health, and I was only using standard attacks nearly the whole time because I was out of stamina running after the bastard. And I got him down, and we're just outside Corvanjund, and we activated all the bandits that were in there and everything. So we're attacking him, and then I thought with a dual wield, so I took another stamina potion and dual wield him, and then halfway through the dual wield, Bran jumped right in front of it, and I took him.
Oh no!
And there was there was no way, the amount of time it took me to take Croesus down, there was no way I was going to reload, because I saved just before I activated the dragon. I couldn't go back that far after how long it took me to get him down without dying myself. So
Yeah.
I just had to sacrifice the poor dog. And he was really, really good.
Yeah.
But
the armored dogs, do you think, more powerful than the normal dogs? Will they have more hit points?
I played with Miko tonight, because I just picked him up tonight. And I was going through them. He's actually stronger than Bran, but I think that's because I picked him up later, because I'm actually level 40 now, and I think the dog is at level 40.
Wow.
Whereas I think when I picked up Bran was like, I was like level 20 or something, so he must have been like at a lower level. Miko is stronger. See that instantly, because when I hit him, like Bran, if I'd ever hit him, his health would go down like about a good quarter. If I hit Miko, it doesn't go down that far.
Wow. See, I've had Miko with a previous character, and he died pretty quickly, and I then went to Markarth and bought Vigilance, and I thought Vigilance was a tank compared to Miko. So that's interesting, like, based on when you pick up the follower, is actually how strong it'll be. And since all the dogs at Fort Dawnguard are individually named, it's not like you could just go back there and buy another one like I can with trolls.
Yeah.
There is do the dogs respawn at Dawnguard? I know there's 2 initially, right?
There's 2 that I know of. I don't know if they spawn or not. I know the trolls you have an unlimited amount of, but I doubt that there's another Bran when he goes back to look again.
No, probably not another brand, but another dog of some kind.
Yeah, I wonder if they would just produce another dog and give it a different name. That'd be...
I have to admit, the dogs drive me crazy with the barking. It just drives me nuts.
Have you ever had a troll?
No, not yet. I will, though, because he's my... but I think that it's such a repetitive animation and soundbite that it just drives me crazy. And there isn't a single mod out there that changes it. So.
I think that you're going to kill your troll yourself then, probably.
Oh, really? Oh, dear.
Yeah. his noise it's a loop too, just like the dog, and it's so frequent. And you're like, shut up!
How's Rhea? How's your follower, Andrew?
She's a gem. I have no problems with her. She doesn't give me any attitude. Like Lydia, when you ask her to carry something, she's just, gives you a little bit of the what the fuck should I do for you now? No. Rhea's like, what can I carry for you? And I'm just like, no, I want to take something that you have. Like, no, you don't need to carry anything. You're just a nice, sweet girl. No, I like Rhea, but it is confusing because at my house I also have Raya, so I have Rhea and Raya. And Raya always walks in and says, hello, Thane, how are you today? And greetings. And, just have Rhea and Raya standing next to each other. It's, it's like one of those annoying sets of parents who name their kids 2 similar names, and you're just like, oh, which is which? But no, I like Rhea a lot. She, let's see, she has a little bow that she likes to bust out, but I found an ebony bow and I found an ebony sword, so I've enchanted both of those with Soul Trap, and so I just load her up with soul gems. That's basically the only thing I use my followers for. Or I guess if I get over encumbered, I'll dump my gear on them, but they're basically just soul collectors for me. I'll give them my enchanted.
Actually, can you check something as well for me, Andrew, when you get back?
What's that?
I gave Aethys an ebony bow. And the bastard won't use it. He keeps on pulling out his hunting bow.
Really?
Yeah, every time. I gave him one of those, when you're doing the Mages Guild in, where is it, Labyrinthian, and you pick up those drain spell bows.
Yeah.
I gave him one of those. He would use one of those.
He would use drain spell, but not the ebony. That's interesting.
Wouldn't use the ebony bow.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. It's annoying.
Huh. That is really interesting. I can look into that a little bit. But yeah, I've never had a problem with Rhea using anything I've given her. She will always use the thing that I've given her over her crappy little bow that she's got right away. We did go to, oh man, what is that place called? It's right near Labyrinthian. There's another little, its own section. It has its own location marker, but it's like some stairs that you can go down into this crypt, and there is a leveled Draugr. I don't know if he's an overlord, not yet in my playthrough, but he was a very high leveled Draugr. That's where I got my ebony bow from.
Yeah, he was an ebony bow with the full force Draugr shout, the first Rodai shout against me.
We lost. I lost Wuthrod and found it again, laying on the floor. It said you have been disarmed or whatever, and took Wuthrod away. But after I killed him, I was looking for it. I was like, why isn't it on him? Why is it not on his body? But I found it in the next room over, laying on the floor, which I thought was really strange.
He used the disarm shout.
Yeah, he used the disarm shout on me and my follower. It took, I made the fortified crossbow of soul trapping, or whatever, for Rhea, and she was using that for a long time. But he also took that from her too, and I never did find that one. I looked all around, I couldn't find it laying anywhere. So that's why I decided to make his bow her new bow, and I gave it to her. It's like, here, we spent all this hard time and effort killing this guy. He actually killed both of us a few times, so I had to, try that a couple times. He whooped my butt. But she was glad to take that bow, and she's been using it really well since. So you mentioned that you have a fiery soul trap. Does that mean you've been to the Ironbind Barrow?
Yeah, the red guard with a pet Argonian. I was talking about it earlier.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah.
That's where I got my ebony sword off of Gathric. That absolutely humongous Draugr. He's huge, isn't he? He must be about 9 foot tall.
Yeah, I need to get there as soon as possible. I like the Ironbind Barrow. Write that down. Go check that out. The Fiery Soul Trap is my favorite enchantment. Have you guys found any enchanted smithing things?
No.
I can't, because that's been...
Skyrim eliminates that. I found one, and
did I tell you that... sorry, Victor. Did I tell you that there is a smithing thing in Skyrim? I found it.
Really?
Is it at the top of the mountain?
No, it's the Forge Master's Fingers.
Yes.
Oh, that's an orc quest.
Yes, if you go and get the Forge Master Fingers, they have fortified smithing on them. But because they're a quest item, you can't disenchant them. But you can use them for a little bit, and it's only 10%. But that's all I could find.
Yeah, I've always just given them back.
Yeah, same here.
Would Skyrim eliminate the pickaxe on top of High Hrothgar, or the Throat of the World? Do you guys know about that pickaxe up there?
Yeah, it changed it. To a different strand.
That sucks.
What does it do? I'm not even sure I know what the pickaxe is.
I think it was shock damage or something like that.
Oh, okay. It's the notched pickaxe.
The notched pickaxe has some enchantment on it, but it's also a smithing enchantment as well. Yeah. So if you disenchant it, you get a smithing enchantment. So and I always liked doing that too. It's like finding a smithing enchantment as soon as you can.
I've been just a very quick aside. I've been playing another character with another overhaul mod called Requiem, and Requiem is hardcore. I'll tell you what. It completely de-levels the world, so nothing is leveled with your character. It's all the same level. So when you start out, you are completely you are dead from the very beginning. It's really tough. And animals and things can break. If you have a wooden bow, they'll just break the bow right out of your hands. It's pretty hardcore. Anyway, sorry, that was just but Requiem is tough.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we have, again, I know I said it last episode, I'm glad we have a mod player deep into modding who's able to share the different stories with that. Modding's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Speaking of which, I might be letting another cat out of a different bag, but I hear there might be some footprints in the background of maybe yet another Skyrim podcast coming up for Metal Shark Studio.
Nice.
And we might be able to get into a little bit of modding with that one. I'm not going to say too much more on it, but there might be another new show in the works.
Cool.
And, wow, we've been going a little bit here so far. And since it's just the three of us tonight, I don't think the Divines versus Daedra game should be played, and we've been going pretty long anyway. So we'll hold that off for another week when we have more participants to go through. Any other things you guys would like to talk about before we sign off for the evening?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, so am I.
Okay, great.
Thanks for letting me ramble on.
Oh,
It's
no,
great
not
to
at all.
listen to, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great listen. I'll be definitely listening back to it, too, I guarantee. But just as our little outro here, if each of you could please just state your name and your character's name again, remind us what your character's called, and then go ahead and do your little plugs that, remember, we did last week. You can plug a Twitter account if you have one, or anything that you would like to promote, like bacon or anything like that. Colin, you'd like to go ahead with that?
Yeah, hi, my name's Colin. My character's name is Gonvar Oakenmaster, and I really don't have anything to plug. Maybe cheese. Cheese is good.
You should plug Batman the Animated Series.
No, it's got its own plugs.
Okay.
It doesn't need plugs. It's too
Alright.
awesome.
It's too awesome. All right, Victor.
Victor, my character's name is Slythe Aaron, and I think maybe in the same vein as bacon, I'd like to plug the 5 major food groups, which are beer, bread, apples, cheese, and honey.
Man, I've been rocking some apples and cheese with my lunch recently. I don't know if I'd forgotten about it, but apples and cheese are a mega combination. They're
Absolutely.
so good together. That's great.
Excuse me.
No,
And
you're
I don't
fine.
have any plugs aside from that. I have my little Tumblr blog for Slythe, but I haven't really added to it, so I won't plug that again this time.
It's fine. I don't have a Tumblr, but I've been wanting to actually look into that. If you don't have Tumblr, can you access other people's and look at their stuff? Is that
Yeah, sure.
possible?
You can search it up and follow any Tumblr you want to. You don't have to have a Tumblr account, I don't think.
Cool. I've never actually looked into it, so I might try to figure that out and look up your character Slythe and see what's going on there.
It's free.
Woohoo! So, for everyone out there, I would like, for all who are participating in the Skyrim Roundtable, if you could please upload a picture of your character, even if you're doing just a play-along and not necessarily on the podcast. Please upload a picture of your character to Facebook with the hashtag Skyrim Roundtable. And also, there is a new Twitter account for a Skyrim Addict that Michael started. So if you have Twitter, please upload your pictures there too, and hashtag Skyrim Roundtable, and do that at a Skyrim Addict. And please join the A Skyrim Addict Facebook group, because we have lots of nice activity going on over there, lots of really good discussions and stories. And if you could, please send in a feedback email, or preferably an audio feedback file, to skyrimroundtable@gmail.com and tell us about your playthrough. And anyone who's doing a play-along, please, you are encouraged to also send in your audio feedback. And please go to the A Skyrim Addict podcast and give it 5 stars for a review on iTunes. Go to the iTunes review section for that. And I would just like to make an announcement here that the next show will actually be a week earlier than on the schedule. The next show will be Saturday, June 28th at 7 p.m. U.S. American Eastern Time. And the 3 quests for next show will be A Blade in the Dark, Diplomatic Immunity, and A Cornered Rat. So that will be quests 7, 8, and 9. And the schedule change is to avoid the 4th of July weekend, because I'm sure that some people around the U.S. will be celebrating some sort of holiday that weekend. But boo. Then the next show will resume the regular schedule. Will be Saturday, July 26th after that, and those quests will be Alduin's Wall, The Throat of the World, Elder Knowledge, and Discerning the Transmundane. So go ahead and start your next 3 quests, everyone who's doing a play-along, and we look forward to hearing about your adventures. And please stay tuned after this broadcast to see if people have sent in their own audio feedback about their adventures. And if everyone would please join me in wishing everyone happy Skyrim!
We gotta work on that.
I'm a celebrity, honestly. You're a wannabe. I'm a prodigy. The suggestion you're better than me at being a warrior? Ha! Comedy. It's a gift to me. I don't just spit flames lyrically, but literally. And the Elder Scrolls are scripts in which I've written your obituary. I am the Dragonborn, wearing a hat with badass horns. I'm Dovahkiin, known globally. You're nobody at all.
Hi there, fellow Skyrim addicts. This is Kathleen, and here is my audio playthrough through the Roundtable. My character is a male Altmer named Vorus Phaon. His skill set is as follows. Warrior skill is smithing, mage skill is illusion, and thief skill is light armor. My stat spread is Magicka is 2, health is 3, and stamina is 1. My spouse was Gregor, and my home was Hellerton Hall, but due to a glitch, that is not going to be possible. So my new spouse is Gazora Gra Bagel, the blacksmith in Markarth, and my new house is Honeyside in Riften. My followers are a human follower named Goldir and a death hound named Garmer. My faction is the Dark Brotherhood, and my mode of travel is a horse. So, Vorus went through the Unbound quest and followed Roloff, because why would he follow Hadvar after the Imperials tried to cut off his head? Then comes the Before the Storm quest. He talked to Gerder, and then he went to go visit the Valerius siblings at the Riverwood Trader. He got the quest for the Golden Claw. Vorus stormed through the Bleak Falls Barrow and came out richer and with the Dragonstone. He then went on to finish the Before the Storm quest. Outside the gates of Whiterun, Vorus met a Khajiit named Kajaro. The Khajiit had lost his moon amulet and asked Vorus to return it to him if he found it among his adventuring spoils. Vorus went on to his next quest, which was Dragon Rising, in which he saw and defeated his first dragon. On his way to Iverstead to see the Greybeards, Vorus met Telrav, who asked him to escort him to his camp near Nilhelm. It turns out that Telrav was a bandit and tried to lead Vorus into a trap. It didn't work. Vorus spoke to the Greybeards during the Way of the Voice quest, and they gave him his next quest, which was the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Along the way, he found the moon amulet for the Kajaro, and he also found some shards for the Mehrunes Dagon dagger. He returned the moon amulet and was given 500 in gold and following services. Vorus also ran into Amren in Whiterun, who was looking for his family sword. Vorus found it at White River Watch. In return for the sword, Amren showed Vorus some warrior skills. He made his way to Windhelm to speak to Adventus to kick off the Dark Brotherhood quest. Vorus finally bought a horse and went to Falkreath. He ended up doing the Daedric quest, Ill Met by Moonlight, and got some pretty sweet light armor called the Savior's Hide. Vorus was and still is using the abandoned cabin from the Dark Brotherhood quest, with friends like these, as home base for now. He has finally made it to Ustengrav, and, like a boss, Vorus powered through it. He also found that the horn was taken. He found a note that has led him to Delphine in Riverwood, and that is where his adventure has ended for now. Here is something weird, though. Vorus has not come upon any dragons except for the very first one. What gives? Hope you enjoyed this audio playthrough, and happy Skyrimming all.
Metal Shark Studio.